Due to some sexual content, parental discretion is advised.
Do you have feelings of inadequacy? Do you suffer from shyness? Do you sometimes wish you were more assertive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, ask your doctor or pharmacist about tequila. Tequila is the safe, natural way to feel better and more confident about yourself and your actions. Tequila can help ease you out of your shyness and let you tell the world that you're ready and willing to do just about anything. You'll notice the benefits of tequila almost immediately, and with a regimen of regular doses, you can overcome any obstacles that prevent you from living the life you want to live. Shyness and awkwardness will be a thing of the past, and you'll discover many talents you never knew you had. Stop hiding and start living with tequila. Tequila may not be right for everyone. Women who are pregnant or nursing should not use tequila. However, women who wouldn't mind nursing or becoming pregnant are encouraged to try it. Side effects may include dizziness, nausea, vomiting, incarceration, erotic lustfulness, loss of motor control, loss of clothing, loss of money, loss of virginity, delusions of grandeur, table dancing, headache, dehydration, dry mouth, and a desire to sing karaoke and play all-night rounds of strip poker, truth or dare, and naked twister. Warning, the consumption of alcohol may make you think you're whispering when you're not. Is a major factor in dancing like a retard. May cause you to tell your friends over and over again that you're in love with them. Also may cause you to think you can sing. Alcohol may lead you to believe that ex-lovers are really dying for you to telephone them at 4 in the morning. Alcohol may make you think you can logically converse with members of the opposite sex without spitting. It may create the illusion that you are tougher, smarter, faster, and better looking than most people. And it may lead you to think people are laughing with you. Alcohol may cause pregnancy, and it also may be a major factor in getting your ass kicked. So what are you waiting for? Stop hiding and start living with tequila.
Tequila! Yeah, oh yeah, oh. Yeah, yeah. Na na na. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. Yo, first, the smartest man, no tweets, he's ever missing impossible. The mission, call out frauds with precision. My Bears 100 proof, he faces number one Adora. Slaying dumb tweets, cross-eyed like Kafora. Never one to back down to call a fraud a lemon. Wise man, no doubt, Miller's asterisk ending. Cheers, Bears fans. The fire Puerto Rican barkeeping for Chicagoland. He's the godfather, the one, the real producer. Always keeping the show together with the voice that will seduce us. Risking out a Firefox, the old timer never stops. IPA, drafts, malts, crafts, barkeep takes the shots. No deny. Barflies appreciated worldwide. Canada, Scotland, England, Brazil, Mexico, and Dubai. Dr. Phil is the guy, the one to realize that the barroom needed a show with an endless shoot supply. Gone big coat fought the narrative on color, brought the Jasons up, get paid for Mitchell. Now I'm the standing up for the truth. You know your boy's the little guy. These media heads won't give us credit, up to the barflies. Flies. Fuck a fraud in his keyboard, Twitter tough guys surround us. Raining truth on the Bears worldwide, barflies astound us. This is the number one pod, that's the reality of the truth. And if you don't know us by now, Bears 100 proof. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. You know MC for a Bears Ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. Bears Ballroom, yeah, you know you got to feel it. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Bears Ballroom, you know you got to feel it. Yeah, you gotta feel it. Do you feel it? You gotta Fire, John Fox. Yeah. MC fulfilling another fulfilling 45 track. Bringing the hits for the Bears Barflies. 100 proof worldwide. Shout out to the super producer, The
Godfather.
Stand up, unite.
Aldo Gandia.
Shout out to the Vice President. It's the Bears Bar.
And of course,
It's only one.
Bears, the smartest man in the bar room.
Come on now.
The mailman, Shayne Moneyman Marsaw.
Deliver the mail. MC fulfill for the Bears
Of
Bar.
course, your boy, Draft Dr.
Bears
Phil.
100 proof.
Good drive. Let's go. Let's go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Let's go score again. Let's go score again. Let's go, bro. Hey, we're rolling. We're rolling. Huddle. We're rolling.
A good solid 8 of them as Trubisky play fakes. Gonna throw under some pressure by Orchard, dodging around in the pocket. Blocked by Massey and Orchard. Springs Trubisky free to the near side. Tucks it and comes.
We got stat good plays. After a big play, get in the huddle. If you can't hear my calls, tell me to speak up. We gotta be good with the calls. In and out of the huddle. Good at the line of scrimmage. Good with snap count. They were gonna jump. We just gotta hold our water. We're fine. Stat good plays. We're gonna go down and score. Next drive.
Trubisky on second goal from the 4-yard line. Takes the snap, going to keep it himself. Goes up the middle. Trubisky fighting for that goal line. He's in for the touchdown.
Make a snow angel. Make a snow angel. Make a snow angel. Make a snow angel. I wanted Cody to spike it. I said, Cody, when I was scoring a touchdown today, come spike it for me. He was on the ground on the pile. JB goes, snow angel, snow angel, snow angel. So I just fall back and start doing snow angels.
This is Bears 100 proof. I'm Draft Dr. Phil. Don't you worry. I'm only one star diva on this show. We got the stars backing me up. And tonight, we're calling up from the practice squad because one of our quarterbacks has gone down with an injury. And we got to bring this undrafted free agent up into Bears 100 proof and join the super producer, the Godfather. Aldo Gandia is here tonight. And a special guest from the practice squad, the one and only Steak and Whiskey, Trey Bizzy in the house tonight with us. Bears 100 proof. Gandia and Bizzy. That sounded like Aldo back in college. We know how he was a ladies' man.
I want to know one thing. Who the hell put Trey in the practice squad? Who the hell made that move? Because I'm not buying it. I'm not signing into that practice squad.
That's a Ryan Pace special.
Big Sandy made that reference a few days ago. He was like, is Trey Bizzy coming up from the practice squad? I'm like, man, a practice squad player, dude? I'm not even worth being on the bench. I can't play special teams, dude. What's up, man?
Yeah. Trey is definitely Jabril Peppers, late first round draft pick that people overlooked and will be playing like an all-pro for the next 15 seasons here at the bar room. That's the way it rolls.
I hope so, man. I don't want to be a practice squad dude, man. That ain't a good look.
Hey, we brought you up to the 53. Tonight, Aldo and I just kind of played a little role reversal because our boy, the smartest man in the bar room, Shayne Marsaw, whose fan club is just growing as we speak, Aldo. The plethora of attraction this guy's getting for just calling out frauds and being a smartass all the time. He's growing in fan base, so we got to keep those follows. I got to meet my goal of 2,122 followers by January 31st. We got to make this happen, Barflies, for the money man, Marsaw. He's out tonight, injured. Oh, is he going to be back, Aldo? We put him on the IR to return. There's so much controversy in the novella of Bears Barroom. But Shayne had a little accident. He worked too hard, like we said, and he's just recovering. So not to worry, as Aldo had said. Don't you worry. I love that. Shayne will be back, ready to go. He's texted me. He's like, I'm going to be inactive this week. I'm going to be back on the mend next week. So, Shayne, we miss you. We have a surprise for you tonight on the show, because I literally wrote a song for my best friend, and that is going to come out tonight.
Well, I got to tell you that I am nervous doing this show without Shayne. I mean, first of all, Phil, you have like the longest game streak in Bears Barroom history. You've never missed a show. Never. I've missed one or two. I remember Lauren filled in for me one time, and he pretended to be me throughout the entire show, which was like a pussy pretending to be a dick. That it didn't work. Nobody was fooled by it. But and I don't recall. Maybe Shayne has missed one or two shows in the past, but between the two,
I think
you guys,
this is his first miss.
Yeah,
of an actual 100 proof.
Yeah, exactly. And
the live show, I don't think he's a, what is that guy? Oh God, I loved his reoccurring role. That's Shayne. He becomes a star off his reoccurring role. Urkel.
Did I do that?
Is actually a star. So Shayne is our Urkel. Did I do that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta find the drop of Shayne saying "fuck you," Urkel.
Oh my God. How it comes together is just hilarious to me.
Hey, before we get rolling here, I got to find out from Trey, how was Christmas at the Bizzy household?
The Schwarzenegger household.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, we unfortunately, man, I didn't really get a chance to get my hands on any steak. We decided to do seafood this year, man.
What are you, Italian? What are you got the seafood courses?
Man, had gumbo and crab legs and all that shit, man. It was good. It was nice. It was nice. A nice wine.
Oh,
it was chill, but don't worry. I'll break out the steak and whiskey this weekend.
Did you put your hair in a man bun?
Oh, hell no.
No, man.
Shayne wanted to know.
Nah, I'll leave that to y'all boys, man. Zaglisky.
There you go. Look, this guy's a barfly. The colonel of the barflies. I've dubbed him, Aldo. I can't wait till the 53 comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Hey, I got another question for Trey, because steak and whiskey, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking to myself, is steak really steak, or is that code word for a chick with a nice, a nice steak, And now you were talking about you had crawfish, you had this and that, and so what's the deal here? Are we talking about you had some other chicks that didn't quite have that steak? Or what are we talking about? Are we talking food or are we talking women?
We're talking strictly food, man. Strictly food.
Girlfriend is totally listening into this. Keeping it straight.
I'm strictly talking about food, man.
So what about the Otoshin household? How was the holiday?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was good time. I had the drama that I shared on Twitter. My wife's like, why are you tweeting that out? I'm like, because you called me into play again. I thought I was retired. So what happened was my parents were bringing, my sister and her kids and my parents, and then it would be my kids and me and my wife. So it would be like 10 of us. And then we made lasagna. So all of a sudden we get a call that my wife's sister-in-law is coming over with all her kids and the whole family. So now this brought the guest list from 10 to 21, or 22 actually, because they brought a friend. It was crazy, so I had to make another lasagna. But you know what? It was just so fun and having family get together. And a lot of these people have the CD or have listened to the Bears Barroom broadcast and listened to the songs on the pod stream and the iTunes. And it was funny how they all had their own stories of they're sitting there hearing the real song, but they're singing our song. And it was just fun to hear these stories from your family. And it like really brought family, because a lot of my families on that side are New England Patriots and Giants fans. So to have them have an interest in it and the bar room and the vibe of the show, everyone was nothing but complimentary. And then the holidays with the kids was just tremendous. And seeing them loving the bar room and the Barflies reaction all throughout. It was like what we say it is, a family. It's not just in words. It's actual. I wondered how Trey's Christmas was, and Air Jares, and Bears Girls documenting her trip down in the jungles of Guatemala. It's like you care about these people because you share a passion in a fanatical way, and that's where we've tapped into a culture, I believe, not a cult for Aaron Lemming, a culture of people that consistently recognize their need is to be educated truthfully. And I think our cast of characters not only come from a comedic place, but an analytical football place where Aldo's going to ask the right question or a Barfly is going to ask the right question to prompt a teaching mechanism. And that happened online even through Christmas. It was just a tremendous experience, and the bar room had an influence on my Christmas in our household. So it was nice. And when your mom asks you, Aldo, can you autograph the CD for us?
That's nice.
You know, yeah, it's just nice. And it was a good time.
Yeah, I went to my in-laws for Christmas Eve, and that was the traditional Americano Christmas Eve. Everybody sits around, and they're on their best behavior, and everybody opens presents, and everybody gets a really cool gift from the grab bag. It was good. And then on Christmas Day, it's traditionally when I invite my side of the family over to my home, the Puerto Ricans come over, and the Arlington Heights police escort them as soon as they get out off the expressway. The Arlington Heights police is like waiting for them there, and they're like escorting them down into my neighborhood. They come out of the car, they start yelling and screaming and throwing F-bombs, and the whole neighborhood is like, oh no, Puerto Ricans are in the neighborhood. And they come in, and I got to see my niece, not the one that's in the porno business. This is my niece, and she brings her 4 kids, and she had not been over the last 2 years because things were a little rough with her and her ex-husband, and she was telling us all these great ghetto stories. At one point she was saying, yeah, I told my kids last Christmas because their dad and I broke up that there weren't going to be any presents because Santa was in jail. And as soon as Santa gets out of jail, we'd have presents for them. And so I'm talking to the kids later in the day. We got kind of a basement with some games down there, and the kids were all hanging out and having a good time down there. I talked to them a little while later, and I asked them, so, hey, Santa didn't come around last year. Yeah, he was in the can, man. And I'm like, man, this is how I was like when I was a kid. And then I got a job in corporate America, and I turned into a part gringo, part Rican. So that was my holiday, both sides of my life. All right, Phil, I'm going to turn it back over to you since you're hosting, the show.
I'm just going to start out, Aldo. Every time I go on a rant, and here we are at the juncture, because it's not a crossroads really, because we're going straight down the pipe stepping into the pocket, however you want to see this show. But in reality, this show will be the last of 2017. The last Bears 100 Proof, and it will be the last time, I believe, we're going to be dealing with a discussion about John Fox as the head coach. I think tonight I would love to hear you, Aldo.
Oh, no.
talk about your feelings as we move into this final game versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, man, that's a hell of a responsibility here. That's just something that you or Shayne usually do. So I'm feeling a little out of place with this responsibility. I like being on the sideline, helping the coaching staff out with quality control, maybe sitting upstairs and monitoring the replays, working in the communications department and trying to get John Fox not to say the ahs and the oohs and the ahs and all that shit. But, Phil, you asked me to suit up, get into the game, maybe, do a little blocking. Typically, I'm like a blocking fullback or blocking tight end, but you're asking me to carry the ball. So I'm going to try to carry the rock here. And I'll tell you that this coaching staff, head coach John Fox, I am so glad that he is coaching his last game on Sunday. And believe me, right after that game, right after the Minnesota Vikings beat the Chicago Bears on Sunday, and make no mistake about it, the Vikings will beat the Bears. John Fox will be fired by the Bears. It is a done deal. All indications is that he is gone. And those of you who are still talking about, they're not going to give away $4 million that he's owed. No, that shit is a parachute payment for him to get the fuck out of town. Don't share any of the family's secrets. Just go away quietly and get the fuck out. I think that Ryan Pace is fed up with him. And while I think the McCaskies and Phillips are reluctantly going along with this move, they know that it has to happen because they sense the growing fan apathy. They sense that this is a losing money proposition, that they know that the season ticket list is getting shorter and shorter. People are taking their names off. Season ticket renewals are not going to be as robust. And while there may be a list, it's getting shorter and shorter. So all the indications are they have to make a dramatic move. And from a football side, I choose to believe that Ryan Pace is too fucking smart to keep this dude around. So anyone out there that's buying into this John Fox bullshit that he expressed at the press conference at the other day, that they're really doing well in this fourth quarter of the season and that the work of the coaching staff is really beginning to come together, then all I got to say to you folks who believe that shit is you have probably fallen for these lines before. Your money is safe with me, man. Don't worry about it. Your money is safe. Or I'm not going to come in your mouth, baby. I'm not going to come in your mouth. You've probably fallen for those lines because that's all it is. It is bullshit that Fox is handing over to you. The Bears beat the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday, a team that is so bad that their color rush uniforms are dipped in shit. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that is so bad that they got shit stains around their mouth because they eat so much shit. You put up two halfway decent teams against the Bears instead of the crap that they faced, those Bengals and Browns, and the Bears right now would be playing for their 9th straight loss on Sunday against the Vikings. They would be 0-5 in December instead of what they're going to finish up 2-3. Oh, yeah, people say a win is a win. Sure. I celebrated this win against the Browns just like I celebrated the win against the Bengals. I celebrated, drank, and felt good and so forth. But you take a close look at that win against the Browns and you analyze the quality of the victories in December, and you still see coaching decisions made in those games that typify what John Fox is like. He is coaching 20th century football 17 years into the 21st century. And it doesn't work anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It don't work. He has got to go. I spotted it 2 years ago that this guy was antiquated, that this guy was not the type of coach that this Chicago Bears franchise needed. And now it's time for Ryan Pace to reconcile the mistake that he made or the mistake that he was handed, because as we all know, the strong rumors going around that Pace was forced, Fox was forced into Pace's hand. Now this Bears management has to give Pace the authority to make the moves. And as for these stories about Ted Phillips making phone calls to see who's available and all this stuff, you know, it worries the shit out of me, because we need to get to the bottom of what Ted Phillips' role is with this organization, because the common denominator over what has happened over the last 20 years is that this is a losing franchise since Ted Phillips has had control of it. And we need to find out what is he doing in the football operations side. And so later in the show, Phil is going to unveil a new music track, the bonus track in the CD, and it's about the Chicago media. So we'll talk more about the Chicago media later. But we need to get to the bottom of that, because that is almost as huge a story as the bullshit that's coming out of Hallis Hall. The lack of reporting on the facts, on the truth of what's going on. These media members are sitting on their asses, eating the free food at Hallis Hall, happy to have the job, and they're too afraid to rock the boat. They're too afraid to do their jobs as sports journalists. So that's my opening rant, fellas. That's my opening rant, and I can't fucking wait until Black Monday comes along. I'm gonna be fucking dancing on the streets, and I'll get somebody to videotape my naked ass, running up and down the street saying, "Yeah, baby, that motherfucker is gone. The witch is dead."
I am not a host. It's just not my style. I like to coach, but I like to talk, and then I would take up the whole show if I was hosting, because I wouldn't let you two talk. So I'm going to step back into the position of quarterback, and I'm going to let Aldo take over the role as the coach
thank you,
of
brother.
the show.
Thank you very much.
Make you feel at home, Aldo, but we really wanted a role reverse because we were missing Shayne. We got to have Bizzy step up and really show that he belongs on the 53 with us.
Oh, he does. I know he does.
I have a belief in this guy. I wrote a song about him, for God's sake. So I have an investment in you. Don't let me down. Show me the money.
Hey, man, I'm going to get in the game and play hard and do what I can do to help us win.
There you go.
Your rant. I just want to piggyback off. Yeah, the Ryan Pace thing is something, you know, Trey has a lot of feelings on Pace himself. My disappointment in Pace, you're going to miss in free agency. You're going to miss in the draft. You're going to hit in the drafts. And when you got to hit is at the quarterback position. Looking at that game yesterday, you really got to be happy with Mitchell Trubisky, but you also have to wonder what Aldo's saying. Ryan Pace, are you calling the shots? Are you hiring the guys? There was worry with Ian Rappaport. It got me concerned. Oh, boy, here we go. Ted Phillips is involved with the coaching decisions. Then it's cleared up that he's doing his due. That's what the president does, reaches out to these other teams. So are you ready, you know, Trey, to feel what it is that you're feeling about Ryan Pace? Because I think he needed to be out center stage, answering questions about John Fox, the future of the Bears, and some of these players that he's signed and had major deals with Wheaton and Glennon, and to really take ownership to mistakes and help a fan base struggling for trust start to really trust somebody.
You know what? I like Ryan Pace, man. He's found a lot of quality young players for the franchise, you know, for us to be able to build something special with. I mean, I feel like, personally, just from what I've seen from Trubisky so far, I feel like that kid is the truth, man. I feel like he's the truth. And just from what I've seen so far, yeah, he hasn't went out there and thrown 4 touchdowns, and he hasn't, you know, went up to Seattle and looked good like Deshaun Watson did, who, by the way, threw 3 interceptions that game, but I'm not going to get into that debate about those two. He found Jordan Howard, you know. Apparently, you know, a lot of guys think Ryan Pace is not a good GM. And I'm like, how do you not think that? He's working with what he has. You know, that roster, with the roster he was handed to, was fucking terrible. There was literally it was just filled with veterans that didn't even fit the system. That whole fucking roster was terrible. And for him to be able to make the changes he's made so far and find the quality players he has in the short amount of time he's had is pretty amazing to me. I mean, yeah, like you said, he missed in free agency. That Mike Glennon thing, man, that's going to be like the dark cloud that follows over him. He better pray to God that, next year we go, we win maybe 9-10 games next year or something. We got to go crazy like that because that Mike Glennon thing, the Marcus Wheaton thing, the fucking Marcus Cooper thing, man, holy fucking shit. I don't know. I don't know who does his scouting for pro scouting for him or tells him, hey, bring this guy in. This guy right here is going to be a good player for us. He fits our system. I don't know who the fuck does that. That guy needs to be fired with John Fox. They need to both be carrying each other's boxes for him to the parking lot.
Are you concerned about Pace not talking about John Fox and Mike Glennon and this situation?
Well,
does that concern you going forward? Are you afraid that his power is limited because he's not showing his face?
You know for sure his power is limited. Come on now. You could definitely tell his power is limited, especially during season. You don't even fucking see him. I think you see Pace what? Last time I saw Pace was he was doing that damn peeking through the door in that fucking picture. It's he goes into hiding. That
concerns me, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just concerning, but, I mean, it's typically how it's been, though, right? I mean, I don't really remember too many GMs, being seen for the Chicago Bears franchise, of course. Other franchises are a little bit different, but as far as for the Bears go, the GMs don't really say too much during the season. I mean, during draft season, training camp, that motherfucker, you can't stop them from talking during training camp. But as soon as the season starts, you don't even see them. They gone.
Well, here's the concern I have, and I wanted you two to comment, and then I'll let Aldo go because I promised that on the last show that we'd address Pace, and we didn't get to it. So here's my stacked boxes in my checklist. You're in the third year of John Fox. You took some risks clearly in the draft and were criticized. You took your future franchise quarterback and you signed Mike Glennon. The rails went off the track at Green Bay in preparation to that. And you haven't faced the media and the questions of the coaching situation. Who's in charge of hiring the coach? How you're going to do it? Are you going to be around to do it? Now, Zach Zaidman said tonight in a tweet he doesn't even know how far this might go. And he's one of the best ears on that franchise in regards to having a feel about the direction of what they do. I don't know Zach to be wrong about things. And if he's not shaking that off, how far does this go? Does Pace get fired? Yeah, you drafted well, but you missed on a lot of money invested. And this type of ownership could be thinking more about money than they did about wins, as we've concerned. Or does it go up to Ted Phillips and they finally get rid of what Aldo ranted about and I sang about, and that everybody knows there's one consistent person and it's him, and you haven't won on the football field, and there's some merit to that needs to be addressed. Your thoughts?
Whoever's responsible, I know Pace had the ultimate decision about it, but whoever's responsible for giving Mike Glennon that money needs to get drug tested, today. They need to drop him. If he fails, they need to fire him, because that's literally everybody. The most idiotic Bears fan. We could go through the motherfuckers that say stupid tweets every week, and I guarantee you those motherfuckers even said, what the fuck are they getting Mike Glennon for? He sucks. Everybody knew he sucked. I have no idea what you saw in his game and those tape and those films and those throws. I don't know what you saw from him in Tampa Bay that made you think that he was worth $18 million. I don't know. I mean, you could have kept Cutler and fucking saved $6 million. Cutler was making 12.5, I think, for the year. You could have kept Cutler. I mean, what the fuck? Fucking Brian Hoyer, $3 million. You could do a lot with $15 million, man. I mean, fuck. You had fucking. I mean, they didn't. I don't know, man. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Say it was a smoke screen. That's a hell of a lot of money for a smoke screen, though.
Well, you're totally right, but I really do believe, Trey, that's what it was. I think that Ryan Pace wanted Mitch Trubisky so badly, and he was afraid that somebody was going to move up in the draft to select Mitch Trubisky, that he went through this elaborate con game to convince everybody that once he signed his free agent quarterback, that guy was going to be the number one quarterback, and he'd select a quarterback later in the draft, not with the third pick of the first round. And so he outsmarted himself by doing that. He made a rookie-type GM move. And I think that Pace, while I agree with some of the football decisions that he's made, there's no doubt that signing Akeem Hicks and then re-signing him is a legitimate pro GM move. That is smart football. But doing the Glennon thing, that's just a fucking that's dumb. That's
drug test work.
That's drug testing.
You're so dumb.
You go over to
some happy sticks, man.
You go over to Ted Phillips' office, you take your dick out, and you pee right in front of him, and you have that urine sample, tested, because that is really fucking dumb.
That's a hell of a lot of money for a smoke screen, though, man. 18 million.
Smoke screen, Batman.
They could have fucking signed me for that. I was for 18 million for a smoke screen. Well, I'd have made it convincing everything. I'd have put the eye black on.
Elaborate. He played the long play for this fucking.
Dude, he went so. I think he went so deep into cover that he forgot that he was actually a good GM. He thought he was a bad GM for a second. You know how the movies when the guys go undercover to be cops. I mean, I'm going
he totally forgot who he was.
They forget they're fucking cops. They think they're drug dealers for real. He actually thought he was a bad GM for a while. He's like, wait a minute. We had to talk with Fox after this Packers game. Like, hey, Ben Tillman put Trubisky in because we ain't fucking watching this shit. He's like, wait a minute.
He finally woke up.
Went
back to his family.
Let me add this. Let me add this about Pace, because that definitely was worthy of a drug test. But then again, you look at the draft and what he did in the draft, and he walks away with Trubisky, Shaheen, Cohen, and who else is the fourth guy?
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson. Those four guys are Pro Bowl type players. I like to, if I was a GM, I would have columns, and I would say, okay, is this player Super Bowl championship caliber? Meaning, is this the kind of guy that can help take you to the Super Bowl? And with each of those four guys, you put a check mark. Yes, 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 and yes. Those guys. Then you got another column. Is this guy just kind of filling a spot? And is this guy, definitely got to get rid of? But those four draft picks, he targeted. And I was kind of pissed off that he traded away so many draft picks and came away with so few draft picks last year, because I thought it was a deep draft. But the end result is going to be super. Those are four Super Bowl quality football players, and I'm happy about that. And I'm willing to overlook the Glennon thing because of that good draft.
Look at you, Aldo, stepping up in the pocket.
Nah, just give me the ball. I'm going to find the hole, and I'm going to get there for that first down marker.
Well,
that's all I'm doing.
Trubisky dumped it off to Aldo in the flat. Unlike Mike Burton, he turns up the field, shoulder pad square, runs over the safety, trips up at the 2-yard line, but doesn't reach for the goal line because he's smartly coached. You don't want to fumble into the end zone.
No way. Got the first down. We're good. I'll let Trey take over and take it in for the touchdown.
Well, now you could take over as host, Aldo.
All right,
I wanted to get that pace out of the way.
Well, and I'm glad that we did. And we will be talking a lot more about Ryan Pace over the next several weeks, because now it's going to be his season. January 1st. We have spent a hell of a lot of time over the last 16, 17 shows talking about John Fox. We have talked a lot about him because it was clear that the discussion had to be about John Fox because he was the biggest obstacle to winning games. Now, once he is gone, the focus is now on John Fox and his scouts pro and
Pace.
rookie. Ryan Pace and his scouts, pro and rookie scouts, to equip Mitch Trubisky with the offensive talent that he needs, and also continue to build this defense, and to bring in the coaching staff that, as Chris Armstrong said on Bears Hour Live in the chat room, is going to now take us to that next step, because this coaching staff is critical. So let's talk a little bit about potential coaching hires that we should be paying close attention to. I know that, Phil, you've prepared a list. Trey, I'm hoping that you've got a few names to offer up, but why don't we start with Phil first, and tell us who's the first person you are calling. And I know that Pace is already talking to agents. I know you're not supposed to, but come on, he's already talking to people, their agents, and saying, hey, we need to talk about something that's going to happen here January 1st. So Phil, who's the first person that Ryan Pace should be talking to?
Oh, without a doubt, it's Jim Harbaugh. And that's the first person on my list. You talk about a culture change and the things you really look for in a head football coach. This guy, Jim Harbaugh, is a master manipulator. He knows how to get the most and squeeze the most out of young men. He's an avid football maniac, loves the game. And it shows in his coaching ability. Now, people downgrade him on Michigan's offense. You got to look at what he's recruited at the quarterback position for you to actually have an understanding that this guy's actually doing stuff with smoke and mirrors to create what he was able to do offensively. You're not talking about superstars. This isn't. You just have to look at the culture and what he did in San Francisco offensively, and how they drafted and what kind of player they look for. I mean, the guy is a genius. He also is a former Chicago Bear. So Harbaugh just brings a passion, and he's going on the record of saying this team that drafted him would be his dream job. Of all the jobs he's ever had, his dream job. So when you talk about that, and you talk about a guy that loves the game of football and is as maniacal as he is, and a character that he is, I mean, this guy is social media savvy. He's everything Bear fans around the world would love about their football coach. To finally say what you want about Ditka and Buddy Ryan and who did what. Ditka's personality was no nonsense, tolerated nothing, and he changed the whole culture and their belief. So, Otis Wilson and all these other guys could say whatever it is they want. The head coach is not going to be everybody's friend. And Ditka, good, bad, or indifferent, how you look at it, had that approach. Jim Harbaugh is that kind of character. If Ditka had social media back then, who knows what would have transpired. Aldo was around those days and knows these players. So you look at personality in a coach, that's what you need. Harbaugh would be my number one. Josh McDaniels, number two. We talked about him on the past show. We talked about my list of coaches. It doesn't change much, but I will talk about Bruce Arians and a few others, but that aren't on my list as of that time. But in talking about McDaniels, second chance, I think he's growing up. You see him fighting with Tom Brady and arguing. That happens daily. If you've ever not played the game or don't play, there's arguments and between coaches and player. You lose your perspective of what's going on because you're such a competitor that it matters. It means something to you. That is, people could misconstrue this kind of stuff all the time. You saw a narrative with Cutler. It was so easy. And why it's not that way with Tom Brady, because he's won championships. Who's going to debate that? Where his heart is, where his integrity is. That's what's going on, and you're just seeing the competitors and their personalities come out. But McDaniels has an understanding of how to scheme people open. Dowell Loggins has a zero clue on that. It's so common. It's when I sit next to my dad and watch a game, it's like some people's dads know football, whatever. My dad, I can't tell you how many offers and this job and that he turned down selflessly to stay with his family in high school, where a college coach and a NFL coaches, constant. My uncles did it. They were moving everywhere. Their families uprooted all the time. So when I sit with him and watch the Chicago Bears play, and he's just talking about their concept and what the heck they're doing, and there's no counter, there's no check with me's at the line. It's so simple that it's so terrible that you look at McDaniel's offense and they're checking with you at the line. Formationally, they're scheming people open and knowing that if you get this coverage, it's going to force a man to play coverage. It could be their best corner, but you believe in your matchup and you get it open and defeat their best corner. That's what this game is about. So we're sitting there laughing at number 29 got less carries and opportunities to play than number 45. Mike Burton out-snapped Tariq Cohen. Can you even conceptualize that? No. It's just asinine. But that's just like one story that I know McDaniels coming here would have a plan, a serious plan of how to use 29 and 24 all the time. Like the Bulls are famous for their diamond offense or whatever it was. Is that what it was called? The diamond?
Triangle.
The triangle. The Bulls were famous for their triangle offense. The Bears can have that same kind of triangle with Mitchell, Jordan, and Tariq, and then go far beyond that with the other weapons that you accumulate. Or Cameron Meredith comes back, Shaheen. I mean, I was so excited to see that kid. I don't want to get off topic, but I was so disappointed that he didn't play on Sunday. But McDaniels will know how to use these weapons formationally and within the scheme and misdirection to use a kid like Shaheen in the appropriate way down the seam and having that dynamic body radius to make these defenders pay, and also use his speed and athleticism to use that seam. It's so important. So can't say enough about McDaniels. I know there's a lot of haters out there, and understandably so. How he handled it the first time, he looked out of place, disheveled. But I really, talking to the people I do know, seeing the guy myself, and watching their offense work, I mean, talk about prepared and preparation. There's just that kind of thinking needs to be in Chicago. And I can't express that enough. And then you have David Shaw of Stanford, who I absolutely love, just on the family tree of Jim Harbaugh. David Shaw doesn't really have the fiery disposition that most Bears fans, including myself, feels like it needs to be there. And I know colleague Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man, worries. But philosophically and from a preparation standpoint, same things as McDaniels. He just is prepared and recognizing his talent and what he has. They're going to run their offense and beat you and out-scheme and smart you. That is missing in Chicago. Okay? It's not just bloody and let's hit people and pound the rock. You need a plan. And you need coaches that recognize their talent to benefit them. And David Shaw does that. Dave Tobe returning to Chicago. I just thought the world of this guy, and the people that I know through him, never had the chance to meet him personally, but people I know as well as people I believe in and just recognize the man himself. Just feel as though echo Greg Gabriel and thinking that this is the year for him and he should get an opportunity because he is a great leader of men. Philosophically, special teams coaches I've been around my whole life. And my uncle Larry Pasquale was an award-winning special teams coach, traveled all over, Chargers, Eagles, Jets, down Jacksonville. He was all over the NFL coaching special teams, and I really can't express enough what a special teams coach has to know in order to bring players and be able to communicate with everyone and teach, most importantly. So if his offensive coordinators and defensive coordinator will be key in a Tobe hire, but his philosophical foundation is really something that you want. And John Morton from the Jets, just another offensive-minded guy developing talent. Really love his high-low philosophy in passing and his scheme and how they use it. Just think, again, scheming to get open, a scheme to help your football team. Frank Reich, you see what he's doing in Philly. You see the work he's putting in with Carson Wentz. You got a young talent here. All of these guys are quarterback savvy and really understand that. Frank Reich played the position, was part of the reason they ran the K gun, and that kind of philosophy coming here to Chicago would be great. This is where I want to talk about Bruce Arians. Guy should have been the hire, as we know, Aldo and Trey. Mark Trestman was hired instead of him. The personality was the reason, according to my connection, and that's a showcase of stupidity. When football should take precedence, we're worried about a coach that's going to be truthful or show his personality, and that's a problem in Chicago. You can't hire guys that are somber and sultry or whatever. They're just not what you need as a head coach. You hire the guy that knows the most. His personality should be real and truthful, and you should respect that. You know, a lot of people don't like Belichick, but at least he's going to tell you the goddamn truth of what it is he thought. In most cases, you get last week we're celebrating John Fox for his first truthful response. Bruce Arians is a personality, a football man. I respect the shit out of that guy. Just know coaching clinic was there, heard him speak, understand the person, the teacher. He's somebody you want your son to be coached by, type of leader, father. He's cool. He's going to be able to relate to media and answer questions and be truthful. And if a guy's hurt, he's going to tell you why he's hurt, and that's it. He's not looking for an advantage because they believe we're going to beat you on the football field. We're not going to beat you with some mind game before it. Bruce Arians is a guy that definitely could be my head coach. I made a tweet about it today, stood by it, don't believe any of that bullshit. I look at the reality of what's going on in Arizona. Should have been hired here. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. We're not going to box everything up like the Rams and say, no, we got to be young. We got to be this. I want that too, but I want the right guy, number one. And Bruce Arians is a guy that I just knows the quarterback position, knows this game, has changed with it, as Aldo said, changing and understanding the people in it, as well as the offenses that need to be run. Bruce Arians is a diamond. If he's let go, I would totally make sure that we interview him and get him in here. It's a disappointment if they don't. John Harbaugh, if he gets let go, is a guy. And also Jim Bob Cooter. I don't want to keep up the whole show, but I wanted to make sure that I just wanted to make sure I got those guys in there.
I mean, Jesus, Phil, who'd you leave for me to talk about?
I'm just gonna give you DeFilippo. I know he's on my list now.
I like DeFilippo, man. You know what? Jim Bob Cooter can stay the hell out of Chicago, man. I don't want him nowhere near our running backs. The way he makes, like, Amir Abdullah, man, that guy is extremely athletic, quick, fast, and like the play calling for him is like, dude, he's a special talent. You can't figure out a way to use him. Come on, man. We don't need that shit with Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard. We already dealing with that. He can stay his ass in Detroit. That shit. Jim?
Jim Bob's out. Not on Trey's list.
Stay your ass out there, man. Fuck that.
Didn't make the Trey's whiskey and steak list.
Hey,
he could have a bologna sandwich or something.
Do you have any guy?
Over on Twitter, @ChampNNM asked, can we do a deep dive on DeFilippo as the Bears' potential head coach? Trey, you got any thoughts on DeFilippo that you want to share?
Well, I mean, that coaching staff in general for the Eagles, man, like, first of all, the growth from Carson Wentz from year 1 to year 2 it has a lot to do with the players around him. He has some really good players around him. But that system is amazing. It just fits his play style so perfectly. Like, he just comes in there, effortlessly just looks like just gets the ball out. Alshon Jeffrey would you imagine that? Alshon Jeffrey being a huge weapon for him. How about that shit?
No. You don't say.
Right. I don't understand Bears fan. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I think DeFilippo is a very, very hot name, just for the fact that Carson Wentz's growth from year 1 to year 2. He's in his ear a lot. He's helping him out a lot. But my player, my coach, the guy that you ain't say. Imagine that. Although it's a guy that Phil didn't say. He said everybody else. The
Who's your guy, Nagy?
Yep, the offensive coordinator over at Kansas City, Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Dude, like, just look at how he uses Tyreek Hill, man. Look how he uses him. Now, picture Tyreek Hill being Tariq Cohen. Yeah, those players are explosive and fast and shifty as hell. Like, literally how he game plans, how he gets his players open. The scheme he runs out there at Kansas City, like Andy Reid's coaching tree, man. I'm telling you, I like that. I like that game. I mean, Alex Smith is out there this year. I'm not sure if it's the system or him just trying to play hard because Patrick Mahomes is behind him. But that dude, Alex Smith, had a pretty decent season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going down the field. He's never been known to go down the field. He's been known as a game manager, which I think is a stupid terminology for a quarterback. A game manager. I mean, he's not going to win you the game. He's not going to lose you the game. Like, come on, man. These fucking people come up with some stupid-ass sayings. I like Alex Smith. I like how he's been playing this year, man. Like, this first game against the Patriots, that dude came out there looking like gangbusters.
Sure did.
Well, here's the question, though. Like, with Nagy, DeFilippo, I saw the video. I put it up for Bears Barroom, tagged him in. One of our followers actually tagged me, Johnny Santucci.
Johnny Santucci.
How about Johnny Santucci? Always stepping up, this kid.
Oh, yeah.
So he tags me in this, wants to know what I thought. And really, Aldo and Shayne talked about DeFilippo. I talked about DeFilippo a little bit in the past shows back in December, late November. December, and then seeing the video footage of this guy breaking down his red zone offense and his philosophy, that kind of teacher and that kind of person, the Bears would be very reserved in any kind of coach showing the ability to break down, probably for fear because they don't want to give their trade secrets away, or they're afraid that the coach doesn't know what he's talking about. That's paranoia and the BS. Your best and brightest show you in the best light. And DeFilippo, I was so impressed. So this is like what I call for Andy Tom and the Europeans, a screwball. He's somebody that throws the opposite of a curve. It bends back the other way. And it's not the expectation. That's what Mike Tomlin was, a screwball for the Steelers that blew them away. That could be Nagy. That could be DeFilippo. You never know. You just need to meet the man, because a lot of these coordinators, Aldo, have gone on to be head coaches and they can't control the room. It really takes a special person to be able to demand from their players, but also tough love them. So it's important that you get that right person coming in here.
It definitely is, and I'll tell you this. I'm not going to give you any names of candidates that I would like to see interviewed, because I want to do more research before I offer up some thoughts. But I will tell you this: when they bring in a Pat DeFilippo and a Matt Nagy too, because this is pretty much true with him, I will ask DeFilippo, you're a quarterback's coach. You've never been an offensive coordinator in the NFL. You've never called a play in the NFL. I'm impressed by you because I've heard about things about you and I've seen you on tape talking football. You clearly know your stuff. That's why you're here in the room being interviewed by me. But tell me why you think you could be an NFL head coach for the Chicago Bears. Convince me that you can lead this team to the Super Bowl, because that's where we are now. We've got the nucleus of Super Bowl players, and you've got to convince me. With Matt Nagy, he just started calling plays a few weeks ago, and it's really helped out the Chiefs' offense. But he, too, has not had that extensive experience. Now, I'm not going to rule anybody out who has not had extensive experience in the NFL, because I think it's important to be innovative and to try to uncover these diamonds in the rough, and these guys could potentially be ready to coach. But I'm going to ask the type of questions that are going to get responses that are going to convince me that I'm bringing in the right guy to lead this football team. Whatever they've been doing in the past in their interviews is wrong. They got to change their whole approach to hiring football coaches in Chicago. Whatever approach, whatever advice they got, throw that shit out the window. With John Fox, throw all that shit out the window and get it done correctly this time. Because if not, we're in for another generation of fucked up losing in Chicago, and I'm getting tired of it. All right, we got to move on in the show, and you know what's going to happen now? Oh, my God. This is going to be pretty crazy.
What's going to happen now?
Right. Yeah. This is the segment of the show that is usually ruled over by Shayne Marsaw, but he's home with a headache, sipping on his Stella Artois. Don't you worry, because there's a doctor in the house, and this motherfucker ain't no Mickey Mouse. He's gonna ID a sad tweet, so you don't dare make a peep. It's all yours, Draft Dr. Phil.
Look at this guy. Wow. Almost to the top post.
Almost did it.
Of the song.
Almost did it.
But it was perfect, though. I gotta say. You in my role. I gotta start worrying.
I learned from the best. Trust me, that's your job. I'm just throwing it.
Matt Balsley might be trying to vote me out.
Now, hey, if Trey, if you want to do the next one, you're more than welcome to do it. Because it don't get any better than that.
That's big shoes to fill, man. I don't think I'm ready for all that.
All right, Phil, what do you got, brother?
Well, speaking of shoes to fill, I mean, me taking over for the smartest man, I can hear the jokes in the voice of Shayne Marsaw right now. I'm too short to do this. I'm too small to handle such a big job. So I'm going to do my best tonight for my boy Shayne. Hopefully you're feeling better as we speak. He's texting, have a great show tonight, and what have you. So Shayne, I got to take this role. And you know what, Aldo? I think Shayne's going to be proud of me here because I'm going with one of his old buddies to start off. The first dumbest tweet of the week on Christmas Eve night.
Uh-oh.
On Christmas Eve night, a tender-hearted, man bun wearing.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
At Robert Zeglinski says, Kyle Fuller now has as many defense passes as Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Bowie this year. He, quote, in parentheses, he is not close, not even close to as good as them, end quote.
I saw that tweet too, man. I didn't say nothing about it. I just was kept scrolling.
This is like the most moronic football take from a nerd boy blogger. This is what they do. Now, Kyle Fuller has played football on a level of all pro level, like physical, the passes defense, the interception, or what have you, who he's matched up with. All those people could fight those battles. But here is where they can't win, Aldo. As an edge defender or the field corner, you have to be the last line of defense in the run game. You got to fit in the alley and be a tackler. They're always, you hear the commentators, especially Madden back in the day, when you have a great field corner, when you have a great, I can't see him going on, you feel protected on the backside. If there's a cutback, if there's a toss play to the wide side, that corner being physical and being a willing tackler, because I think he's beyond willing. And that's where he tops those other corners. Ramsey's a rookie, for God's sake. This kid went through the fire, got burned, came up, rebuilt himself, and really has taken charge. I mean, Shayne talked about him last week about setting a tone. When your corner is setting the tone, not only out there playing the best every week and doing what he has to do, but also being physical. This is such a narrative tweet. It's like, why take a shot at Kyle Fuller when he's been nothing but tremendous? In fact, you should be fighting for praising him, for him to be able to come back when so many, including this guy, wrote him off to begin with. So, Aldo, this was at 1:20 p.m. 1:20 p.m. So the game had just started, and this is the kind of shit you get from these guys. It's a worst take. It should have been my number one, but unfortunately, they topped that this week.
And I got butt in here and say I've never met Robert, and I wish him well. I truly do. He's got a great opportunity to become a good sports writer. He's being given a lot of leeway by his editors to post this stupid shit. And so really, it's not so much about him, it's his bosses. They've got to pull him inside and say, listen, kid, you got to do your homework here. Because what you're posting here just doesn't make any fucking sense. You got to, here, I'm going to pay you, Mr. Z, I'm going to pay you to go to football school. Call up Draft Dr. Phil and ask him how much does 40 hours worth of football knowledge from him cost? Because I will pay for that, so that way you are tweeting shit that makes sense. Because you're giving the newspaper, the TV station, wherever the fuck he works, you're giving us a bad name. So, I mean, and that goes not just for him, and I don't mean to pick on him, but that goes for every other dumb motherfucker out there that's tweeting stuff that just doesn't make sense. They have employees, they have bosses who should be seeing this and monitoring it and saying, yeah, this really isn't helping our brand. So come on in here. Let me help you out. I can't teach you what to say, but I can hire somebody who can teach you the X's and O's and teach you what to say and what not to say, especially that. Because some of the shit you're saying just don't make any fucking sense. Trey, what do you think?
Well, first of all, he contradicted himself within the tweet. Mm-hmm. He has as many pass breakups as Jalen Ramsey and AJ, but he's not as good as them. If he's not as good as them, how the fuck does he have as many pass breakups as them? Come on, man. That doesn't even make sense from more than one standpoint.
It doesn't.
The fuck, whatever. Fucking AJ Bowie had one good year. He got paid. Jalen Ramsey is a second-year player. He had a good year. They're both pretty solid corners. But come on, man, don't discredit Kyle Fuller, man. That was a fucking retarded ass tweet. That's why I didn't say nothing about it when I saw it. I just kept scrolling. I'm not even going to say.
You have a job. You have to find who needs the pussy this week, and Man Bun is getting my vote if it was me. But
oh man,
with the Kyle Fuller takes are so hot.
I'm about to one up that though. Don't even worry, Phil.
All right, Aldo, you ready to rock and roll with the next dumbest tweet?
Trey, you sure you don't want to do this one?
Man, I got
have some sympathy for me now.
Man, look, we should make Phil do his own.
No.
That's what we should do.
The deal has already been signed.
Let me give it a shot. All right. Oh. Yeah. Dummies on Twitter, there are far and plenty. In 1 minute you can find one or even find 20. Draft Dr. Phil has his work cut out for him because choosing one bad tweet or two is... Can you help me out here with the word that rhymes?
Tough to do.
Tough to do. But Draft Dr. Phil is up to the call.
Now Shayne would come down hard on me like an erection.
Yeah, well, that's a sight I don't want to see. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Yeah,
all right,
me either.
What's your second bad tweet of the week?
This worst tweet of the week. Now, I struggled with this because I don't want to let Shayne down. And I know I'm going to be analyzed and criticized for my performance versus Shayne. Chris Armstrong's going to be all over this segment. And first time, I believe, he's shown his face because I would know. And I'm surprised it took this long, but I guess it takes me to step up in the pocket and talk about a dumb tweet. But I get a double dip on this one because there's two dumb tweets in one, Aldo. So you're going to get a double tweet, a tweet treat. Now, first, because the tweet in its original form is so obvious and stupid that we got to double up on it because the person tweeting gets the dumb tweet award too. And you're going to see. So Aaron Lemming. At Aaron Lemming, NFL. We know how when you put the NFL after your name, you're important. That he tweets out. He quote tweets. So there's like 3 tweets in one here. He quote tweets Jay Glazer. Jay Glazer thinks an unprecedented amount of teams will be looking for a head coach this offseason. He cited up to 13 and 14 teams. He also says New Year's Day will have an impact on Black Monday. Like I said last night, Bears will have a ton of competition. No shit, Sherlock. We got you. I mean, this is what he does. He quote tweeted Glazer, quotes himself, to say it's his own. But then, as dumb as that tweet is, and as obvious that he's just feeding sheep, so he's giving you the news that Glazer said to give you the Bears. Guys, am I the only one not fooled by his stupidity? I mean, he's quote tweeting there's going to be 13 or 14. Just like I said, the Bears will. No shit, if there's 12 coaches fired and the Bears are one of them, they're going to be a cop. It's the obvious tweet. But then to double up on this tweet, good friend Olin Kreutz quote tweets the hypocritical stance argument he had with me. He quote tweets Aaron Lemming's tweet. I can't make this up, folks. It's a tweet treat. He says, people might be realizing finally that coaching is harder to find than players. Bad coaching has been a big problem in the NFL. Aldo.
Oh, Jesus.
I went back and forth with this guy to measure the importance of coaching. That it was the biggest problem that belabored the Bears right now. You went on a rant to say the same thing. Olin says it's not. No. Easy. Ooh, hold up. We know there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. But it's obvious it's the head coach that's crushing and crucifying. Well, now bad coaching has been a big problem in the NFL. Yeah, and it's been a big problem for the Chicago Bears, and they have to get it right. So Olin Kreutz and Aaron Lemming get the dumbest tweet this week.
I got to tell you that those two It didn't take you very long to find those bad tweets. I know you. You just went straight to their accounts and said, okay, let me just pick these two, because these guys offered you up probably dozens and dozens of bad tweets for you to pick from. You didn't have to search anybody else's account. Now tell me the truth. Is that am I right or am I wrong?
I'm telling you the truth. One of our Barfly scouts screenshotted the Aaron Lemming Olin Kreutz double dip special on the diner menu that we're coming up with. We're gonna have to put that on the roster sheet for the diner, because the Barfly, I'm not gonna say their name. They don't want to be told, so I'll just say one of the Barfly screenshot it and sent it to me. And then the Ziglinski, I saw it come up and I sent it to the group when it happened, the creative team, and I'm like, oh my God. Now I had no idea Shayne was going to be out this week, so I was just setting him up to spike the man bun home, and really that was it.
Trey, do you know Aaron Lemming at all? Have you followed his work?
I see his tweets sometimes, man. I see him and the Ziglinski. I see the regular guys that pop up on bad tweets of the week. I see them on there. A couple guys. Olin Kreutz, man. I don't know, man. Like, man, I wish I could see things from other people's perspective, so I could see what goes through their mind when they say the stupid shit that they say. Just so I can get an understanding of why they said it. Because if you ask them why they said it, they get a little defensive. I just want to know what you were thinking. What made you feel that way?
Exactly.
What made you feel like paying Kyle Fuller this money would be a bad idea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want fucking Tracy Porter to come back or something? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I was very close to using another Aaron Lemming screenshot, and that's what Trey's referring to. He manipulative words things, so I'll just read it to you quick, Aldo. Might as well.
Yeah, go for it.
He says, I'd be surprised they'd be willing to give him $15 million plus for one season, but we'll see. So that's how he'll word this, to then say it's a good move and be the team guy. Or there's never a stance to it. I'd be surprised they'd be willing. Well, when we call you out that's the right move, dumbass. If you can't come to a deal, you franchise tag Kyle Fuller. You don't create a hole where you have one of the best corners in the league. That's how he's playing right now. You can't measure everybody's career from the past, Aldo, and say, oh, he had that one bad year. No, we're talking about now. This is what he's showing us. This is what we're building off of. This is where he's playing well. Argue about contract all you want, but you have to have faith and belief in a player. And really, you can't let this homegrown talent go. You did it with Alshon. We joked about it. We talked about it. You can't do it again.
I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you guys both real quick. And that's what killed him. They say he had a bad year. Like, motherfucker, it's his second year in the fucking league. He's a young player. Yep. That's not who he's going to be as a professional. He's an ascending young player.
Then he got hurt. Then he got questioned, right. So that kind of gives them ammunition.
He set out the whole 2016, so I guess that does kind of give him, ammunition. But he's been fucking lights out since he took over for fucking. I think Cooper had to start. They gave him the start spot, but since he took over for him in week 2 of preseason against the Cardinals, that motherfucker's been lights out.
Exactly. And sometimes players need a fire lit under their ass. They need competition. I always talk about this with Fox. He's got preferential treatment for other players. Sit someone's ass on the bench and make a fucking statement. Put these players in positions that they don't matter to make them matter. You make yourself matter. And Kyle Fuller, you're 100% right.
I give Fox credit for we don't give him any credit because he's an idiot, but he gets credit for benching Cooper ass. He gets credit for that shit because that motherfucker is trash, dude. Every time he steps on the field, I want to say it was a big third down. I forgot who we were playing. It was like a third and fucking 20 something, man. And he was on the field for some reason. I was like, oh my God, I already know they're about to go to get a player he's covering. He lets the motherfucker get behind him on a 3rd and 20 something in their own end zone, and they pick up the first down.
Against the Ravens?
No. It wasn't the Ravens. It wasn't the Ravens. It was a later week. I had to go look it up. I think I posted it. But that dude, like I just don't understand. Like I think he got him on a 3-year deal or something like that. Come on, man.
Hey, I got to tell you this about Aaron Lemming and Ziglinski and some of the other guys that we typically feature on this segment of the show. One of the things that bothers me about these guys, and again, I don't want to come off as sounding like I'm Mr. Communications expert or something like that, but something that bothers me about these guys is a lot of times, maybe 50% of their tweets are fucking Captain Obvious tweets.
I'm Captain Obvious.
It's like, dude, if you got nothing new to share, if you haven't done some research on a stat, if you don't have something funny or interesting to say, don't fucking tweet me a Captain Obvious tweet, something that is so fucking ridiculously obvious that I wonder, man, can I get those 10 seconds back that I spent looking at that tweet? You know, that just really fucking bugs me. It just give me something, man, that is interesting, that I can debate or that I can quote and say, hey, I read this thing from Aaron Lemming. It's, you know, this is really cool, whatever. It's some of the shit is just fucking boring. But thank God that we have good tweets too, and that's why we do this. Oh, yeah. Thank God not everyone on Twitter is a piece of shit. There are actually people who have smarts and wit. I got a feeling Draft Dr. Phil found one that is really slick. If not, I hope that the smartest man in the bar room gets well real quick.
There you go.
Didn't take it to the post though. Damn it.
It was good though. You stepped up, man. You finished on an A level.
Yeah, it's always good to
So you're passing this class.
All right. What do you got for us?
Well, this week, keeping it positive, I think this is a first time for this person too. And I'm a big fan of this guy. At Greg Gabe.
Oh, yeah.
At Greg Gabriel on December 20th. So he isn't piggybacking off of, you know, what transpired in the Cleveland game. He writes, I have no doubt that if the Bears can surround Trubisky with a quality offensive staff, he has a chance to become a special player. Now, right then and there, this is a football guy I respect. You can question whatever you want about him, but if there's anything I respect more, even if someone comes at me hard or whatever and I did something wrong, it's the truth. He keeps it real. He keeps it 100. I don't always agree with Greg, but in this tweet, I absolutely agree with Greg because there is a real influx of Jimmy Garoppolo love that is just spreading like New England Patriot love for Tom Brady.
Yep.
And here's this young quarterback in Chicago just taking a beating, having crappy wide receivers. The same story that we've had to live. I don't want to fight for Trubisky. I don't want to have to fight for Jordan Howard. But somehow, some reason, I have to Akeem Hicks as well. And it's disgusting to me. And here's this kid out there. I was just so impressed with him in being put in shitty situations, mind you, and just becoming a football player before your eyes. Those scramble runs to keep plays alive are because of JV play calls behind it. And it really is important that people recognize that Mitchell went through his progressions and then decided to run. He wasn't just running for fear. He recognized man coverage, back turn, took their place. He took their place on his own blitz. He really impressed the shit out of me. And I was so happy to see that after, you know, I don't think it was a terrible game. Some people thought it was his best game with a 3 interception standout, and I'm not a stat guy. Those 2 of those passes were bad. But you live and learn, and you want to see growth, and how do they return to action? And really, ultimately, he did a tremendous job, and I agree with Greg. If you get an offensive coordinator in here, Aldo, that has the understanding of how to use an athletic, accurate quarterback, that those 2 things are where you want to start when you're dealing with the term quarterback. If you have somebody that's going to scheme people open and make him and his job easier, you're going to be cooking with fire, and that creates a special player because his confidence is going to grow on the NFL level. And really, ultimately, this was a great tweet by Greg Gabriel.
Well done, Phil.
Yeah. Bears Barroom, 100 proof.
Oh, yeah.
Steak and whiskey. The Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Steak and whiskey. The Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Steak and whiskey. That Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Steak and whiskey. That Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Who needs pussy? That Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Who needs pussy?
Come on, Barflies.
They need fans, they know they do. They need pussy. The Bears Barroom vibe just hits me. Yeah, you love that steak and that fucking whiskey. Coming from the colonel of the Barflies, Bizzy. He looks at the frauds in the media, the ones that need and don't get pussy like chlamydia. Bears 100 proof with your man Trey Bizzy. Discover who needs pussy cause the football take is shitty. Shoutouts finest coming real on 100 proof. Working on a skyscraper, listen to the bar. Spit the truth, waffle cone, get 3 scoops. A writer, not a blogger cause he could bench the weight room. That's my boy Trey Biz, dropping truth on these suckers for the Barfly whiz kids. Whiskey. The Bears Barroom vibe just hits me.
Those of you who have not heard this segment before, it is called Steak and Whiskey, and this is where our man Alec Lifschultz, a.k.a. Trey Bizzy, comes in, and he tells us a little bit about who may need some pussy in order to get their shit together because they're offering up a lot of shit. Trey, this is your segment. I'm going to sit back and enjoy. You take it away.
All right, fellas. See, my segment, I've been saving these motherfuckers, man. They was on reserve. These motherfuckers, I've been wanting to attack them for a minute. So I want to say it was about 2.5 weeks ago. This is how you know it's been a long time, but 2.5 weeks. I'm in my car riding on the way to work. Listen, I put the radio on. Sometimes I listen to music. And, I listen to the Barroom podcast. I'm like, fuck it. I'll listen to the sports radio. That was the biggest mistake in my life. Turn the shit on, and these 5 middle-aged, retarded motherfuckers are sitting around talking shit about the Bears' safeties, saying like, they still can't find safeties. Adrian Amos isn't a starter, and Eddie Jackson, he's not a willing tackler. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck games have these I'm talking about 6-7 years score. Fucking Moley and Hanley, or whatever the fuck these old motherfucking names. They need to fucking stop reading off the paperwork or whatever they give them down there and actually watch some damn games, man. Like, come on, man. I'm like, Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson, there's teams right now that would love to have both of them starting at safety.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot. There's like about a good 15 teams that need safeties. Eddie Jackson and Adrian Amos both should have been Pro Bowlers this year. Both of them. Not just one, both of them. There's no way you could possibly tell me that Earl Thomas has had a better season than fucking Eddie Jackson. No possible way. We're talking about somebody who had 50-plus tackles, 3 fumble recoveries. He forced the fumble and recovered it, 2 interceptions, and he had fucking 2 defensive scores. Last player to do that type of shit was Luke Kuechly in 2012, and he won Defensive Rookie of the Year that year. So you mean to tell me this dude shouldn't start for us?
Making a strong case. Making a strong case.
I mean, holy fucking shit, man.
It's so ridiculous how they do these narratives. It's so ridiculous.
The worst part about these narratives, though, is that people actually believe them without even doing any research for themselves.
That is so true.
That's why this show came to be. That's why you're on the show.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, them guys need to go fucking run a train on some bitches or something, man, because they ain't had no pussy in a while. We need to go ahead. We need to be passing out fucking Viagra's like we work at Sam's Club or something. And these motherfuckers. Here you go. One for you. One for you. One for you. Fucking David Howe. A basketball dude get on the show. A basketball dude get on the show and start talking shit about the Bears safeties. What the fuck do you know about safeties? Take your ass back over there and analyze the Bulls games, man. Don't come on here talking about the Bears safety. You don't know shit about football. Clearly, if you think Adrian Amos shouldn't be starting, then you shouldn't be fucking talking about football. Just plain and simple.
That's priceless, man. For a train and some bitches. Damn. That is cold, bro.
I'm just saying, man. Eddie Jackson.
Hey,
it's lights out. This man is lights fucking out. Adrian Amos. I'm gonna bring up two plays. The New Orleans Saints game, when he forced that fumble, we needed that turnover bad. We needed that. We needed that play bad. You know, the Philadelphia Eagle game, even though it was a blowout, before it got out too crazy, he forced the fumble. Adrian Amos forced the fumble. We needed those plays. He makes plays that you can't tell me that there's not teams in the NFL to fucking start them. If they were cut today, they would be starting on Sunday. They'd be starting Sunday. They both. If Eddie Jackson got cut today, he'd be starting Sunday somewhere. Adrian Amos too. Both of them.
The fact that city is run by these pussy-needing fucks in the 670 talking about these safeties.
Phil, this dude don't even
I couldn't even agree with you.
He's a basketball guy. What the fuck does he know about safety?
I think David Hall played safety at Tulsa, to be perfectly. I think that's Shayne's boy.
Yeah, he did.
No, he's not. But honestly, I understand what you're saying. I completely agree with you. The narrative run on Adrian Amos is that he couldn't tackle, he didn't make enough interceptions, he came into the league, set the tone, came back, played great with nobody in the secondary helping him, and people were overlooking him. Me and Lauren Cox came on this show saying, no, hold up, the tape is saying something completely different. It's so lazy to just jump on what Brad Biggs or somebody saying, Larry Lemming saying, and really just believe that shit and have people fight with you over it. But you're doing film work and actually know what's being asked. And really, when you don't know coverages and you don't know what a cover 3 is or a 2-man under or zero coverage and why he's put this position and the blame game starts to happen, when you get that coach's tape, there's nowhere to hide. I just can tell you, Adrian Amos was not a good safety last year. He's been tremendous this year, and if you just look at his presence to the game yesterday, it was like you had a vigilante back there. He was coming up, hitting people, and setting the tone.
I was so hurt he dropped that interception. I was like, oh, Adrian.
Well, he was going for the kill shot because I looked at it on tape. He was flying in there to just jar the ball. Then the guy saw him coming, kind of pulled his hands back, pulled the alligator arms, and Amos could have just turned and caught it, but he was just already in the kill. But I must say, Amos didn't know Kaiser was gonna throw him the football. Literally, just throw him the football. Oh boy.
Very important
that's
that
Shayne's boy.
Amos and Jackson are kept as a tandem as the safety for the next 5 to 10 years of this Bears team.
That's a benefit going forward with a potential coach. You got to get those safeties. You got 2 young ones, and they want to run them out of town. I hear you, Trey. It's ridiculous.
Excellent stuff.
Especially Eddie Jackson, man. There's no way. That's the fucking. I was arguing with myself. I was having a debate with myself. Who was the steal? Tariq Cohen or Eddie Jackson? I don't know. I don't know who was the steal. They both were the steal. Fuck it.
Good stuff. All right,
we
moving on, man.
It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up.
This week, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw, the smartest man in the bar rooms, bear ups and bear downs of the week.
A bear up, a bear down. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. They're watching the tape and weighing. The game is done. The Bears have lost and won. They're playing the tape and grading. Bear up, bear down. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. They're watching the tape and weighing. The game is done. The Bears have lost or won. They're playing. The boys are grading. Cheeto blockies, I take them out like my girlfriend. Smack 'em, flip 'em, and stick 'em until you can't bend. Till then I'm still, I got hype credential. Barflies blown out fraud brothers like Nintendo. 5'7" kind of a small one, but I still store bums. Key suckers in doldrums. As I'm speaking and taking a change in my English, I quickness to get rich. I like chalk, but not chips. Connecticut in the house, but the barroom's where I live. I'll bear up, bear down. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. I'll bear up, bear down.
This is another fulfilling, funkified track.
Yes, yes.
Yes, man, I love that song, Phil. I really
A lot of people love that song.
I love that song.
Just a segment song, but a lot of people love that song. They keep DMing me. Why wasn't it on the CD? I'm like, it's a Christmas album.
That's the next CD, the one that we're going to sell to you, people. All right. How are we doing this, Phil? We're all going to present a Bear Up, because I know you've really produced this entire show today. You stepped up in the pocket.
Yeah,
and you
let's
sent
all
me a
produce
message. Hey, Shayne.
Bear Up, but it should start with our guest.
Absolutely. All right, Trey. You present a
Bear Up.
We've been talking about most of the show.
He's causing a lot of strife with the bloggers.
Yeah, he's I don't know why. I don't know what's with people acting like it's coming out of their money. You know, it's coming out of their pocketbook, like you said, Phil. But Bear Up this week gotta be our boy, Kyle Fuller.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be, you know, what he had the best week of any corner in the NFL this week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, what was it, like 6 pass breakups, an interception, allowed 0 catches.
Yep, he was targeted
against Josh Gordon.
Yeah,
had an interception.
Yeah, he ran the route for him.
He ran the route.
I'll run it for you. Don't worry about it.
He ran a couple routes for him. He was tremendous. What a great performance by that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he deserved it too, man. I mean, coming off the injury, you know, he deserved the amount of money he about to get in free agency. But he's a Bear Up, man. He can't say enough good things about him.
Time. All right, Phil.
Aldo.
Who do you have as your Bear Up?
Oh, okay. Aldo, I gotta say, you know, obviously I was going there, but I gotta let my guest eat first. You know, you don't take the last slice of the pizza. You ask to make sure everyone's had it. That's how I teach my kids anyway. So for me, though, my Bear Up, it's very difficult because I thought there was players that really came to play this game. And that was one of the measuring sticks we were going to do. Who's going to come to play, who's not. The lowly Browns, they really backed up their word and Akeem Hicks' word. And really, the way I look at this game, Akeem Hicks, I can't say enough good things about him, but I'm going to give it to my man, Adrian Amos. I just thought coming back off an injury and being absent and recognizing his play, obviously easy for me to pick Jordan Howard or Mitch Trubisky, deserves it too. But I really thought this narrative that piggybacking off Trey, how this fan base and how these media see their talent and really overlook it and praise some of the talent that shouldn't be. This guy, to me, set the tone. You could feel the difference. I think it's part of why Kyle Fuller was able to play, because he felt so comfortable knowing he was back there supporting him. The kid is a ball player. He is a physical presence. He's not perfect. I'm not saying that yet, but I did just recognize the different attitude from the secondary. And I really, against the Vikings are playing for something. This is a good litmus test for this defense and this team. Are you going to lay down? It's the last game. You got nothing to lose. Are you going to play your division rival? You've not won a game against your division yet. Are you going to have pride? Amos is a guy that came out this past week and showed me a lot of pride and toughness, and I really give him my bear up.
I love it. That's a great choice. And this was a good week to pick bear ups. I mean, again, like I said at the top of the show, they were playing some lowly opponents in the Cleveland Browns, and so you expect them. You expect to have a lot of good names to pick from for bear up. And you guys have highlighted two of them and mentioned some other names as two that deserve it. I had a really tough time picking because there were some names there that I thought were all deserving. Nick Kwiatkowski, who last week Shayne picked as a bear down. I thought he had an excellent game and was
great game.
Definitely up. And so maybe he read Shayne's tweet or maybe he listened to the show last week and stepped up his game a bit. But I didn't think he was all that terrible last week, so that's why I didn't pick him. And then I looked at the Bears' offensive line, and I said, man, there were some really solid performances there. And so I'm going to zero in on somebody there, and I narrowed it down to Cody Whitehair and Bobby Macy. The reason Bobby Macy is not because he had a tremendous game, but he had a courageous game. He got rolled up in that game, and he stayed in that game where other players probably would have walked off. He knew that the offensive line depth was down to nothing, and he had to play. And as I kept looking at him as the game wore on, and he was limping, he was definitely in pain. He played very courageously. But I am instead going to go with right guard Cody Whitehair.
You tricked me there. I was like, wow, look at this guy. He's giving it to Bobby Macy.
Yeah, I thought I was going to. I was very, very close to give it to him, but I can't give it to him just on courage. I have to give on
I thought you were the Lion. DG would be so disappointed.
That's right. Bears Girl has anointed us as members of the Wizard of Oz. What were you going to say, Trey?
I was like, we knew you weren't going to give it to Bobby, man.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. But, Cody Whitehair is a man that deserves it. He, according to Pro Football Focus, he did not allow a single pressure in pass protection, and we've talked all season long about the difficulties that he has had having to switch from position to position and just being a victim of poor offensive line coach and poor offensive play calling. And he was forced again because of injury to move over to that right guard position, and he played stellar football. He really helped Trubisky have a good game. Yeah, there were some issues with blitz pickups, but again, that has more to do with the coaching on this football team than player performance. How many fucking times is it going to take Dow Loggins to realize that they're sending everybody and their mother on third down and long? I mean, Mitch after the game talked about, we made some adjustments, and I felt sorry for him. Yeah, when you get finally a good coaching staff, they're going to make that adjustment after one or two times that they do it, not after the fourth or fifth time. So, God bless Cody Whitehair. God bless Mitch Trubisky. God bless all of these fine football players that are on the roster. They will soon have a new coach. But to make it official, Cody Whitehair is my bear up player. And now let's talk about the bad stuff, our bear down player.
Bear up, bear down, draft Dr. Phil Phil and the smartest man around there watching the tape and weighing. The game is done. The Bears have lost or won this play.
All right, Trey. Who do you have as your bear down player?
Oh, man.
It's tough, right?
Yeah. It's hard, man, but I'm gonna have to go with my boy Dontrell Inman.
Yeah, that's a good choice. It's a good choice. He had a rough day.
Where the hell was he at? You know, I mean, I seen him drop a pass that hit him right in his hands. I'm like, come on, guy. Like, you know,
yeah.
I really don't know what to say about him, man. I mean, I think maybe in the snow. I don't know
exactly
what was going on.
He's been playing in San Diego. He's been playing in weather. He come over to Chicago. He was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Hey, that's a culture shock, man.
Yep, it truly was.
You go from sweating to death to freezing to death.
You gotta make the catches.
You gotta make the catches, though, man. That's what you're out there to do. You know, you gotta make the catches.
Well, and he will. I hope that he gets serious consideration for a new contract. I'd be surprised if Ryan Pace doesn't go out of his way to lock him up. He doesn't want to just throw away a 7th-round draft pick for a 10, 11-game season from a wide receiver. He's got a nice rapport with Trubisky. He's a smart guy. He is a good locker room influence. I'd be shocked if he doesn't return, isn't signed to a 1 or 2 year contract, and he comes into camp fighting for a job the way it should be. And I'd be surprised if he doesn't win a job. So it's a good pick. I understand your hesitancy in handing it to him because the guy, he's a cool guy, and I can't wait to see him back next season under a new coaching staff. Phil, who do you have, brother?
Yeah, I got the guy. We should probably change the award to him because I can't avoid the frustration that I have watching tape. Is when somebody could do it and they decide not to do it. And that is Mike Burton. He continues to boggle the mind how he's getting all these snaps. He out-snapped Cohen, for God's sake. What kind of offensive coordinator has this fullback out-snap the most explosive football player on their team? Only one guy I could think of. His name is Little Dumber Boy, Dial Loggins, because we can't make this stuff up. Burton coming up on I put up a play where he's lead block. It's the first Jordan Howard touchdown. He has a full head of steam if he wanted to. Instead, he's prancing through the tulips like a goddamn deer. And then he just puts his hands out first. It's everything wrong, and his head is on the wrong side. He puts his head straight. He should have chose a side, recognizing where they were on the field. You put your head on the left side, you run through the man, and that's your job as a fullback. He puts his hands up, pushes him. The linebacker could easily get off that block, which he does. Granted, Howard's instincts and his ability gets him to the outside, and he scores anyway, and the stat scout doesn't know anything about it. But I look at it, and it's very clear this guy doesn't belong. And it's over and over again. On the other touchdown run, he doesn't block. Excuse me, that was the second touchdown run that I'm talking about to begin with. I forgot the first touchdown. It's a counter play. He's going to kick out, but it's so far out, you don't have to. So he looks dumb because a lot of people are like, what is he doing?
Yep.
Why isn't he leading up? The play is actually designed where he's going to be the kick out, and Howard could choose the hole. And it just so happens it opens up there. That's why he looks dumb. But if you look at it, every time he runs this play, he reaches with his hands, and the defender goes around him. And on the touchdown run, it's the same thing. So I'm not going to kill the guy where I can mislead you all and say, yeah, you should have let up there and bend. I mean, unless the play is devised, you use your eyes and become the runner and you lead. The play is a counter power this way, and he comes back to kick out the edge defender and gives that crease. He's like a protection from the down block. From the pursuit angle. And So I'm not going to kill him on that. But everything else, the guy's he's just awful. Yep. Sorry. He's my bear down again.
I don't blame you whatsoever. Watching this guy play, and I have to thank you and some others who have just pointed out the technical aspects of why he plays so poorly. But beyond that, if you're just, an average student of the game like myself, just watching him play, it's so fucking obvious that this guy is out there and he's either on drugs or is really stupid because he just looks like a chicken with his head cut off, running around and flailing away and making all sorts of
he's doing a ballerina turn on one play. I'm like, what is going on here?
Exactly. It's like
I would be breaking his balls every day.
Well,
I hear you.
He was doing the nutcracker dance, man. It was Christmas Eve, man.
Yeah.
Performing.
Yeah, and I'm worried
that the Nutcracker.
I'm worried that he's gonna get Trubisky's nuts cracked by missing a block someday. So let's get rid of him during the offseason. That's high priority. Get him the same moving company you're getting for John Fox. All right, my bear down player, and this was tough. I mean, you guys took the two obvious candidates. I had Burton number one, I had Dontrell number two, and then I had to, really dig down deep. But I think I came up with a good one, despite the fact that this guy was targeted twice and caught both passes for a total of 62 yards. The long was 40, the other one was 22, and he was the leading receiver of the day for the Chicago Bears. Benny Cunningham is still my bear down player, and I got to tell you why. His main job is to come in on third down and block. That's why he's in there and not Tariq Cohen, because John Fox trusts him to block. Well, I'm sorry. During real game time, I saw this guy missing blocks, looking a little confused on blitz pickup. Those third down blitz pickups, some of them were clearly his fault that he failed to pick up the proper guy on the blocking assignments, and he just did not show me why he should be there on third down, and why not give Tariq Cohen the opportunity to pick up those blitzes, the opportunity to learn how to become a quality third down back, the opportunity to catch those passes and take them all the way to the end zone, because Benny Cunningham clearly couldn't on plays that he should have, and we know that Tariq Cohen should have. So with all due respect to Benny Cunningham, because he did have statistically a good day, it wasn't the full 100% A to Z game that we expect out of a veteran third down back. He could have done better in pass blocking. He could have. There are probably some other areas that Phil can point out of his game that were deficient, and we should be giving Tariq Cohen those looks. And I don't buy this bullshit that John Fox says about the rookies don't do this and all that. And it's been said by a lot of the old timers too. I heard Bill Polian on ESPN radio saying the same shit about, it's a rookie, you can't throw him out there. Sorry, you old dinosaur. The game is different from the time you guys were in your prime. Even the veterans are not getting as many snaps as they used to. So the veterans are making rookie-type mistakes. So a rookie can come in here and excel, and when it's a developing team like the Chicago Bears, then you're obligated to give these young guys an opportunity to go out there and learn on the job, make mistakes. It's not going to cost you a game, not against the Cleveland Browns. For heaven's sake, throw the dude out there and give Benny Cunningham, some time at the bench. That's my player.
I agree. I totally wanted to say one thing off of that. It's so perfect because I wanted to make sure I touched on it again, just to put the clamp on the neck of this coaching staff. Any coach not understanding that Tariq Cohen should be on the football field in third down situations, whether you want to put him in the backfield or you want to use him in a slot, he needs to be involved.
Yes.
And I tweeted out immediately, Aldo, yeah, great play, Benny. Imagine if it was Tariq Cohen.
That's right.
That's the exact tweet I tweeted out is what you're verbalizing. It is disgusting, and you're 100% right. It's not wrong whatsoever. You're right about the dinosaur way of thinking. You don't even know. In fact, when I've seen Tariq being asked to pick up a blitzer, he's 50 times the blocker that Benny Cunningham is. and ever has been. Watch this little dude put his face into Reuben Foster, who's coming on a fucking blitz. And Reuben Foster, much like what I see in Nick Kwiatkowski, is not afraid in that little pocket of goodness, I used to call it. When you're going in there one-on-one against a running back, I would challenge my lineman. What kind of man are you? I would mentally prepare them that running back is not going to stop you from getting to the pussy that is in the backfield. And that's how you do it. And when there was a little rodent back there that had fucking the heart of a Mighty Mouse and stonewalls people, he put Reuben Foster at a standstill. That's all I got to know about this football player. Yep. And he did it again in this game against one of their blitzer, Burgess. This kid can do it. It's ridiculous. Aldo, I totally agree.
There you go, bro. All right, this is how we're going to take the show to the end because we are approaching the 2-hour mark. We're going to play a very special piece of music, and then we'll end the show by giving out some Christmas gifts to Bears players, Bears fans. We'll do some shout-outs. We'll do that all over our closing music. But first, very important piece of music that I want to play for you, and then Phil will tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this, and then Trey and I can comment about the Chicago media because this is what this song is about. So let me play the song first, and then Phil, you can come in and share with us about this special bonus track that you will only find on the CD. Now, if you want a copy,
only on the CD.
If you want a copy of this song, you got to send.
You can't have Trey yawning at this point.
Yeah, Trey's had a long day. He was working today.
You can't have him yawning on the air. Our listeners,
hey,
AJ,
I'm not. Hey, look. I'm not yawning, man. I was stretching, bro.
No.
It sounds like a yawn. Actors
I'm good,
on the radio. I just want to make sure no one in my locker room is yawning.
Oh man.
If you gotta yawn, mute the button.
Hey, I'm good, man. It was good. I was stretching.
It's like in Hard Knocks. Coaches up in the room, and they got shots of guys, the players nodding
sleeping.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's play this tune and then we'll talk about it.
You know, we at the Bears Barroom are so tired. It's tired of the lies and tired of the frauds. So we decided to put this song together because we're tired of the Fraudukas. And this is the Frauduka song. Put on your computer and call your sources. So many made up stories Matt Miller's executive reported. Blogging is bringing big words to life. Instead of one fraud, we have several crazy guys. When you're the only podcast that tells it like it is, felt the need to write a song to speak the truth to the whiz kids. We got the Bears blog who lights the menorah. Again we got Matt Miller, who's only topped by La Confora. Guess what frauds see together at the Chicago Deli? The Davids, Kaplan, and Hall, and Brad Bigg's big fat belly. Zaglinski's dumb, Lambert sometimes too. Put their minds together, and you might just get the truth. We thought we found Waldo, instead it was Aaron Lemming, covering all his bases like a washed up Roger Clemens. Put on your cap, Hanukkah, it's time for Frauduka. Bears fans banging their heads like Bill Clinton banged Monica. Greg Gabriel, not a fraud, but guess who is? Aaron Lemon. tearing a bear apart. Don't forget the Bears blog and his sister Andy Danny. Have you seen them on Twitter? Not too many. Some people think that Benjamin Albright is, but he's not. Guess who is? All the Tribune writing. So many football frauds on Twitter. Just print out their made-up stories and like your ass on the shitter. Tell Lawrence Harmonica it's time for Frauduka. Bears girl plays harmonica. The whole sweatshirt is a Nautica. Aldo drinks gin tonica. Nick smokes his marijuana. Shayne's up banging a Lanica. Have a happy, 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 happy Frauduka. Happy Frauduka. Bears 100 Frauduka, motherfucker. Fighting the truth. Falling out the floor.
Brilliant. Brilliant work.
Well, like I said at the top of the show, it was inspired by, if you don't know how close of friends this crew is, then you don't listen to the show. Because I love these guys, I love these peeps, I love the Barflies, and I've loved Shayne for years, and I've never met the guy in person, but we've talked for hours. My wife jokes he's my mistress because we talk so much on the side. But, you know, Shayne and I have depicted so many things, and he keeps me in check, and I try to keep him in check. But in this show, and what Aldo you brought to the table in believing in my belief in titling this song, I mean, this show, Bears 100 Proof, it's going to be focused on the truth. It's going to be real. We're going to get real people on here that are just going to cut the bullshit and just tell it like it is. And when we did the album and the Fire John Fox and all of it coming together, Shayne actually was saying, why don't you do the Hanukkah song and make it about the Bears draft choices through the years that sucked and it will be funny. Bears fans will love it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I was doing it and I never got to it. And then I was all done with all the Christmas stuff and getting fired up, and I'm actually tweet DMing the crew that I got a lyric for this song, and it has to go in. And it was like, I just started coming to it, and they're not even responding to these great lines in this song. There's so many nuggets in there, and they never responded. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write this song, and I'm going to do it for Shayne, because these are his thoughts and mine. You know, when you share with someone and they're like, exactly, that's how I see it too. Mm-hmm. There's a togetherness. That's what this show is. It's just like Aldo's talking about. There's some people that just say that's what they are for news. They don't know the game. And a lot of these little comments in this song are just for them, pretending to know what they know to try to be something they're not. And it got tiresome. And thus, the Frauduka holiday came in existence, clearly using Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, changing it to Frauduka, and coming up with these lines about bloggers and the Bears blog and how he manipulates his source, and Aaron Lemming the same thing, and covering all their bases, all the stuff thrown in there. Even your boy that you're fired up with, David Hall, made an appearance. Matt Miller and Lockenfora. These characters live on this show. And to bring that all together and put it in this song was my goal. And then at the very end to get Shayne, Bears Girl, Nick, John Buffone, and Aldo into the song's end. It was just the perfect ending and surprise track. If you love 100 Proof, that's why you have a CD, for God's sake. We gotta give you the no holds barred song and call out the frauds, and that's what I tried to do, and I believe it really came together.
Outstanding. It really did. Trey, talk to me about your feelings about the Chicago media. I mean, you got this whole segment called Steak and Whiskey, so it's something that we do on this show. We like to kind of highlight the BS artists out there. Talk to me about what you think about Frauduka and the Chicago media in general.
Like Phil said, I'm glad he made a whole song about those motherfuckers.
He's gonna make an album soon.
Those guys are full of shit, man. Most of them are just frauds, like he said, man. They're fucking full of shit. I mean, I don't really know how else to put it. They don't keep it real. You know, they have their own agenda. You know, they like I said earlier in my damn segment, they fucking say some stupid bullshit, and a lot of naive Bears fans believe the shit they say. You know, they just come up with their own fucking agenda. Oh, Eddie Jackson and them are not good players. They shouldn't be starting at safety. What? Like, come on, man. Will anybody say Luke Kuechly is not a willing tackler? No. So Eddie Jackson put up the same amount of tackles as him, you know, in his rookie season, but the people saying he's not a willing tackler. How does that even make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whatever, man. Like I said, like Phil, I'm glad you addressed it in the song. They deserve the song dedicated to them. I hope it hits their ears sooner or later.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a lot of reasons out there why these guys are frauds. You know, one of them, I worked in corporate media for a while, so I understand what happens politically behind the scenes. Somebody makes a bad report, a critical report about the Chicago Bears. All of a sudden, somebody from the Bears front office is calling the general manager of the TV station or the radio station or the newspaper and saying, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" You know, and all of a sudden, contract negotiations for carrying the preseason games don't go as well as they did in the past. There's all that kind of stuff that happens.
All this politics behind the door.
And, you know, and again, I don't mean to come on here and tweet our own horn, but that's what we give you here at Bears 100 Proof is we are not paid by the Bears. We are not beholden to them in any way. We don't get followed by the Chicago Bears website and then go ahead and brag about it. We brag of the fact that they're not following us because we're exposing the bullshit that they put us through, us the fans, us the supporters of this franchise. You know, the people talk about the Green Bay Packers fans, the shareholders. You know what? Every fucking fan is a shareholder. We Bears fans are shareholders of this franchise. We buy the jerseys. We buy the tickets. We sit through 40 minutes of commercials in one quarter to watch a game. All of this stuff is our investment in time and money and so forth. That makes us shareholders too, and so we have the right to bitch and moan and scream when things are not going right, and that's what we've been doing since day one when we opened the doors here in the bar room, and I'm proud of Phil for putting his music together and creatively sharing points about the Chicago media that we perhaps have not talked about it or just amplifying it with music and sound. It's beautifully done, Phil. Congratulations. Now, talking about music.
Thank you.
Very good. We're talking about music. I'm going to play our closing music, and we're going to hand out some Christmas gifts to people. Trey, you got a Christmas list you want to start with, or do you guys want me to start? Because I got a good one, but I've been talking now for 5 straight minutes, so I want to bring you guys in.
A Christmas list.
Yeah.
What are we giving away?
Oh, well, okay. Let me go
Whatever
first.
Imagination.
You follow my lead here. All right. So
I want to give people the hands. Can I do that?
Yeah.
We a fight in the street. Out in the street, there is violence.
I want to give a couple people the hands, man. They deserve them. They earned them.
There you go. I'll buy that. Here's what I got. I would like to give as a Christmas gift to the Chicago Bears McCaskey family. I would love for them to get $2.5 billion. And what I mean by that is I am hoping that as a Christmas gift, they are getting a call from Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon Corporation. And as part of the deal that the city of Chicago is trying to work out to bring Amazon's second headquarters to the city of Chicago, we also make out a deal for the McCaskey family to sell the franchise to Jeff Bezos, the CEO, top guy over at Amazon and also the Washington Post newspaper. He's got this media empire. Let's bring in a visionary owner, or bring in Mark Cuban, or bring in anybody that knows how to run a successful business to be the new owners of the Chicago Bears. Let's give the gift of $2.5 billion, which is what this franchise is worth. Let's give them that gift and bring in new ownership to the Chicago Bears. It not only will be a gift for the McCaskey family and all those kids, and half of the kids don't want to be a part of this football empire. They really want to sell this thing. They'd love to take the money and run, but Virginia is still holding on because of her dad. Well, sorry, Virginia, don't hold on anymore. Take the money and give it to the kids and let us Bears fans have the benefit of having an owner who knows what the fuck they're doing and how to run a franchise. We'll bring football people in to be from top to bottom, from the CEO all the way down. It's time. So I'm hoping that the Bears get that present. And Phil, who do you want to give a present out to?
Aldo, who's older, Queen Elizabeth or Ginny McCaskey? They seem to be both surviving centuries and centuries.
Virginia, man, you're holding on. God bless you, but can you at least...
How long has the Queen been the Queen, for God's sake? She's still there. Fucking son has been trying to be king forever. His pussy game was trying to go up. You can't get...
I don't know what the fuck those motherfuckers are doing, man. Like, to stay alive, like they might have some type of when you see them hugging people in pictures, they taking their life source from them. The people in the pictures get older, but they still look the
same. Santa Claus and Guinea.
You better watch out, Phil. I saw a picture of you and George McCaskey, man. Did you start feeling a little older after that?
Oh my God, that's where the gray hair came from. That's what I'm going to tell my wife.
All right, Phil, you want to hand out a Christmas gift to anybody?
I want to give a Christmas gift to Larry Mayer.
Oh, our buddy Larry.
I'm giving him a case of eye black. And I just want him to continue doing what he does best, and it's just ask the most obvious questions known to mankind in the presser. They're just tremendously obvious. Like, John, are you worried about your job after someone else already tried to ask that question? Thank you, Larry, again.
Well done.
And I also want to thank Larry also for creating one of the greatest Christmas parody songs ever.
It is a classic.
Lunch with Larry Mayer. I laugh at my own song when I did that
then
song.
You know it's good, right? That is good. Oh, Trey, you got a gift you want to hand out? Because I got another one here. I'm ready to start. I'm feeling in a very giving mood.
Yeah, I do have a gift I want to hang out. As a matter of fact, thank you for asking. I want to hand John Fox the biggest cardboard box I can find. I'm not sure where I'm gonna get it from. But I want him to get him a really big cardboard box. I want him to put all his shit in there. Everything. I want it to be one trip. I don't want him to be in and out. I want him to make one trip. Just fucking wipe everything from the desk into the box. One fucking wipe across the desk, throw it in there, and get the fuck out of the house hall. Don't fucking come back ever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I worked for a corporation once where they had these big staff layoffs and stuff, and so they would bring the people into a room, and there was a cop there, and there was a person from HR, and there was the boss, and they would tell the person, all right, we're letting you go today, and you have to leave the building immediately, and this police officer will escort you off the premises. Well, I gotta go back and get my purse. No, No. You're leaving immediately. And Officer Joe Franco here is going to walk you out. And that's the same thing I would do with John Fox. Just bring him into the room. There's a big cop there that looks like William Refrigerator Perry and just walk his ass out of there. Cold-blooded firing. All right, here, I got a gift for Tariq Cohen. For Tariq Cohen, I want him to get for Christmas a special teams coach for 2018 that is going to teach his special teams players not to fuck up his electrifying runs with stupid penalties. That's what I want for Tariq. Because what was it? Last week, Shayne said it was like almost 300 yards of lost yardage taken away because of these stupid penalties. And I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, who is now the special teams coach, you got to do a better job of getting more disciplined players out there on the football field. That is a coaching issue too, from the head coach and the special teams coach as well. So Tariq Cohen, I hope you get a special teams coordinator who knows how to use you and knows how to surround you with players who take pride in what they do. Listen, I'll tell you something about Devin Hester. Devin Hester was benefited not only because of his immense talent, but also he had special teams players who took great pride in breaking holes for that guy and not making mistakes that would nullify his runs. And that's what Tariq Cohen deserves. Phil, you got a last Christmas gift to hang out?
I'm going to give young little dumber boy Dowell a gift. I'm going to give him a whistle. Because clearly no one could hear what the fuck he's talking about because the fullback is still out there. The same dumb shit continues to happen. So as he moves on in his career, I learned as a smaller guy, it was important sometimes because I would lose my voice to have a whistle, for God's sake, and correct some shit that's going down on the football field. Diggity Dowell. Low gains, no gains. Out of town, here's your golden whistle.
I love it. Trey, you got anything else in that sack that Santa left behind that you want to give out to a Bears player, coach, or a barfly, anybody?
Yeah. I do have some I want to give out. I want to take Josh Bellamy to the hospital, put him on operation table, strap him down so he can't move, and cut his hands off, right? and find like the hands of someone. I might have to go get Jerry Rice and be like, let me get those about you, player. Cut his hands off and then surgically attach them to Joshua Bellamy.
That is good.
Because the thing about that guy, man, he, like, even off the field, he acts like he's like one of the best wide receivers in the league. He like he's so fucking cocky, dude. Like the shit, how he shows off his outfits and shit like that. Like, dude, you're a glorified special team player. Like, come on, man. Like, relax.
Oh man,
that is true.
Send him his song, the Josh Bellamy song. You gotta send that on a single.
The guy he walks around like he's Odell Beckham. Like, dude, no. Like, no.
Yeah.
That is wild. All right, let's transition to our shout-outs. And the way I'd like to transition is to offer a shout-out and a Christmas gift to Bears Girl, who, as Phil mentioned earlier, is down in the Caribbean. You can find her on Twitter. It's Bears Girl, no I in the word girl, 80. And she's documenting her trip down in the, where is it? She's in Guatemala. She's going to Mexico, then Belize. And we wish her nothing but the best. We hope that her travels are safe and that she's having the adventure of a lifetime. And we really miss her. She's such an integral part of what we do here behind the scenes. You may have listened to the Christmas Day special. She did her interview with Draft Dr. Phil, and you knew she was prepared to ask some excellent questions. And we had some technical difficulties on that show, and she's volunteered. That's the type of person Bears Girl is. She's volunteered to call in from her vacation and conduct the second half of that interview. That we unfortunately, live too.
Live from Guatemala, it's Bears Girl.
That's how cool she is, and we love her, and we miss her, and we wish her nothing but the best. Phil, why don't you do some shout-outs for us?
First and foremost, Bears Girl, tremendous job. The feedback on the CDs has been tremendous.
Oh, awesome.
The graphics you put up. I'm just saying this to win the contest, mind you. And, Shayne obviously not being here was because he couldn't compete with me and Aldo. We realized that it's down to the two of us. So we love you.
I'm just
anyway.
glad John Buffon and Trey Bizzy are not in this contest because I think I'd be in 5th place.
Well, listen, I got to shout out Robert Phelan. I was calling it Phelan, Sergeant Phelan. He gave me the heads up on the enunciation. Guy sent the Bears barroom car stickers and window dressing for the Atoshan car. He sent it to the Bears Girl, Aldo, Shayne's getting some. And we're going to take these on a test drive around town. Bear fans are all over the place. Every time I go to the gym, all I rock is Bears gear. So Bears fans approach me, and it's crazy. So just to advertise our site and get more listeners, as me and Aldo were talking about in the last show, feeling coming through, because people are going to be like, what the hell's Bears Barroom Radio? And go look it up. So we want to continue to build this and make it the best it could be. And Robert Phelan, shout you out, Sergeant Phelan. Nick Kurtz.
Hold on a second before you go on from Sergeant Phelan.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to say that he ordered a bunch of extras, and so this guy is you talk about a guy.
He's a fanatic.
You want to salute not only for his service to the country, but for his service to the barroom. He bought some extras, and so we're working something out where we might make these available for sale or something. I don't know. We're gonna get into the whole merchandising of the barroom in 2018. Help us pay for some of our expenses and maybe give some money for Phil to take the kids out to Burger King or whatever.
Exactly.
So we're working all that out, and so a huge thanks to the sergeant for him getting this off the ground for us. I mean, truly appreciate it. I'm sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
Just tremendous. I think barflies are gonna want this. It really looks sharp. And I was checking it out tonight. Nikki Kurz helping out the bar room. Gotta shout him out. Johnny Buffon, the Buffon Show, keeping it in the family. This is the last show, guys, of this year. And I really felt like, as all the years I've done this show, that this year was the year that we really took a step forward as far as what we're producing and the quality of information and humor and analytics and everything that we're giving you guys back. So I got to shout out my team and Shayne Marsaw not being here, and the writers, Chris Armstrong, Trey, who's joining us, coming up from the practice squad. You got to shout out, stepping up, everyone. Frankie, you got to Chachi, you got to love these guys. Schroeder, my boy Kieran across the pond. I love to say that. I wanted to make sure I shout out the Bears Barroom team on the last show of the season. Danny Scheinman doing the draft stuff. We don't get to interact with all of you. We want to, but
we will.
And that's in the future process that, we're going to be doing that. So wanted to shout them out, but obviously, Aldo, we got to shout out the barflies that really made Christmas special. Heidi, you talk about fans. She's a barfly.
I love
true
me some Heidi.
Blue.
Love me some Heidi.
True blue. Chris Bowditch across the pond. I'm going to fuck up what country it is. But I'm going to say the Netherlands, Wales, one of those fucking countries. I love them. Without you, there's no America. So what are we doing over here? The Pilgrims don't come. The Italians never come. I would never even be here without. Oh.
Yeah, don't ask me about any of that. I skipped history. I went straight to gym.
You got to love. I got to shout out my boy, Bradley over there, John Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
Across the pond, too.
Oh,
he wanted a shout out.
He threatened you. He said, you don't give me a shout out, something's going to happen.
He's right, though. This is a guy. I just love this guy. You talk. There's these media heads that just listen to the show, but afraid to give you, like, a credit. Bradley's not one of those type of dudes. Jim Larson, not one of those dudes. There's just class. Like, I know what's good and what isn't. And I know Aldo's producing quality out of this. You can hate on my show, that's fine. But Buffon and On Tap, those shows, I mean, they're good info and they're great stuff coming out of the bar room. And the CD and above itself, what we do here, it's just great stuff. Nelson Daniels, I got a shout out. AJ, these guys, you guys got CDs in the mail and you took a picture and were proud to be a barfly. How do you fucking not shout those guys out?
For free.
Like Isaiah Robles and his wife, Christina.
For free.
She's
no charge.
For free. No charge. We didn't charge for a shout out.
Trey,
did
we charge you for being on the show? Did we say
no? I'm charging you guys.
Exactly.
You're gonna get an invoice in the mail.
And you should.
Okay. Well, I want to shout all the winners of the CD. I know we're running short on time, but I try to batch AC Loves the Bears, Frankie Myers, JC Agama, MJ Pope, Linda Malloy. I'm just reading off Sandy Tom, motherfucking Big Bear out there dropping lines on video.
Yeah.
Benny Driscoula.
Where do you think Driscoula's from? That name sounds like Transylvanian.
That's Italian.
Is that really Italian? Driscoula.
Yeah, he's a fucking paisan over there. He might be from the north or something, but he's Italian.
Cool. I thought it was like Transylvania or someplace like that.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's going to correct it. We're going to hear from Ben.
Yeah, I know he's coming after me with the Transylvania joke. I start talking about my cousin who's a porn star or whatever.
Danny Walker, Jay Mueller, 402, Wolf, a new writer. What's Wolf out there shouting us out? Who else? Mikey Picarello, Jersey Jeff, Dustin Reagan Badia. How do we forget him? Always sending me screenshots and updates, helping the show. How about Big Money Mo, the pimp? Bringing that amazing chicks in front of Aldo's eyes. Aldo's in love.
I want Mo on the show, and I'd love for him to bring that young lady that he had.
Oh, we got to have a Mo show. A Mo show for show segment. Momo the Bear.
Trey, you gotta bring some of your ladies onto the show next time, okay? Can you do that for us?
Hey man, I don't have any ladies, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Rolodex has been closed.
Okay. Yeah. What is your lady's name? You want to share that with us, Trey?
My girlfriend's name is Ashley.
Ashley.
The build up, Aldo thought a different name was coming out.
No,
it's just Ashley.
Ashley, just let Ashley know that she's welcome on the show.
Is she coming? She's coming on right now?
No, she's shy.
I heard an uh-oh, like she's coming to the phone.
No, she's shy, man. She's one of the people that stay in the shadows.
Okay. Well,
she's more of like a Green Lantern.
Next time,
yeah.
Next time you buy her some steak and whiskey, see if she wants to come on the show.
maybe if I get her some wine or something, she might want to say a couple things.
There you go.
Tequila, to top the show. That's me, by the way. The tequila.
Tequila make women do other things, man. You gotta get wine if you want to talk.
Can we talk?
Man,
you give her some tequila, man. That's you ain't gonna be on the show.
Yeah. I was drinking some tequila called El Milagro yesterday. That means a miracle. And I'm telling you, it's a miracle. I'm standing today, bro.
It's a miracle you still awake.
Exactly. That shit was awesome. All right, Trey, you got any shout-outs?
Well, hell, Phil took everybody.
I know.
Oh, come on now.
Shout
Come on, man.
Come on now.
Shout out some of those exes.
Oh, man. Now, come on.
No, don't get him in trouble. Off the practice squad, he's trying to make the team.
You made the team.
I wouldn't be the one to get...
Bellamy trying to pimp out now. Slide into fucking Trey McBride.
With the Gucci slides on.
Just, like a fond remembrance, some old exes.
Oh, man, this is turning into something else, man.
It always does.
It seems that way.
Ashley, I'm just playing, Ashley. If you're listening, I'm just playing.
Oh, man.
You don't have one guy.
You got
I have
okay, go ahead.
I'm only busting your balls, so you know how you get going. And then
I know.
I'm
Italian.
Well, you took my boy Driz Gula, man. I was gonna shout him out. That's my boy, man.
Drizzy's working his way up. He's the head of the Buffon fan club.
Yeah.
He's the head of the Bears barroom fan club.
He's in charge of lighting at the bar.
He's Heidi's #1 fan too.
Oh man.
He's stealing barflies left and right. He's selling fucking my CDs out of his fucking trunk of his car.
Wait a minute, there's a copyright. What's going on here?
Hey man, you better make sure you get some of that profit. Selling CDs.
Jesus, Triscula.
That's not how it works, man.
Benjamin, come on.
That's my boy Aaroner. His name Aaroner. Aaron. Tor. He always bringing some heat in my benches, man. He always bring the good Bear stuff. You shout out Frankie Myers.
Frankie Chachi.
Bringing him out, man.
Smart guy, Frankie, man. He always offers top-notch commentary.
I got my boy Bose out. These guys be having some weird names, man, on Twitter, but but they're Bears fans, so they keep it real. You gotta start having them do an audible, let you hear what their name is, so you don't butcher it. You already shout out Nelson, man. That's my boy Nelson.
Love Nelson.
He dropped that the interesting piece in the mentions earlier.
Keeping it 100 every time.
Somebody saying somebody about Chicago has a sense they need to keep the pace and Fox. Some piece he put in our mentions earlier. I didn't want to read it because I was like, that's all. I scrolled through it and I seen that. I was like, oh hell no, I don't want to read this shit. I didn't want to think about John Fox staying in Chicago.
Oh man, you can't. It's not happening,
out of here, man.
All right, man. It's time to close the show.
Yeah.
I want to let everybody know that I hope they had a really, really Merry Christmas. And coming up for the New Year's, please go out there and party like it's 1999, knowing that in a day or two after the New Year's, we will have the search for a new football coach in Chicago. And it's going to be a glorious time. Stick with us here at the Bears Barroom. We're going to be offering extensive coverage whenever the announcement is made. Phil and I, and hopefully Shayne will be already. Trey, you're welcome to come on too. We're going to break in live on MixLR and start talking about the announcement and offer commentary, answer questions, engage with you, barflies, on what's happening, what's the future going to be like without John Fox. We're really anxious and looking forward to that. There's just a lot happening over the next few months, and we are going to stay on top of it. I know Heidi was tweeted out 2 or 3 weeks ago that she was going to be so sad that we weren't going to be around once the season goes, and I assured her we are going to be around. The bar room is open for business in the off season. We're going to be providing more 100 proof shows, providing more laughs. interacting with all you. So it's all about having fun. And the football season, the NFL football season, is 11 months a year, and we'll be with you for all of those 11 months, covering all of this stuff. So finally,
we ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere. Finally, I want to just say, listen, if you drink, please do not drive, and always bear down.
Bear down, motherfuckers.
Bear down.
Fuck you, Fox. That was for Shayne. That was a Shayne thing. Good show.
Well,
Last show of the year.
Man, I can't believe it.
Turning the page. Can't believe it, Coach.
We did it, man. We did it.
We did it. The Fraudukas have been unveiled.
Trey, as far as I'm concerned, you're on the team, man. There's none of this practice squad. You filled in admirably, and I really appreciate you making time for us, brother.
Yes, sir. Short notice,
thank you,
too.
Shayne.
I know, what's short notice?
Thank you. It was. The guy steps up. I call you up. He steps up. I really want to thank you, though, Trey. You did a great job coming in here, bringing your personality, and standing as the colonel of the Barfly Army. That's what you do.
Yes, sir. Phil's hitting me up at work, man. I couldn't. What the fuck was I doing? I think I was building a door. I was building a door, and Phil was like, my phone keeps vibrating and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought something bad happened to somebody, man.
That's the door that we don't want Fox to let him hit on the way out, whatever the fucking expression is.
Yeah. Don't let the fucking door hit you in the ass on the way out.
No, we wanted to hit him so he could fall down on his way out.
We don't want a comp case with the guy.
Told you, I got him a nice big box for Christmas.
Well.
Had his monkey killed. His brother killed his monkey. What the hell was that all about?
Oh my God, passing the buck. I forgot to shout out that dude who put that meme up. Oh my God, I fucking died laughing.
That was the weirdest story I ever heard in my life about him having a pet monkey.
I know.
That monkey played with his monkey.
Yeah. All right, fellas. I know some of you guys got a date. Phil's got a date tonight.
I got a date.
Trey, I know, has a date every night. Tell Ashley we said hi.
A date with my pillow.
There you go. All right, everybody. Good night. And,
all right, guys.
Again, thanks very much. Good show.
Great job. Bye now.